nerderotic.com.
Assemble the accused! Bear witness to their trials! The time of the Inquisition is now at hand. Putting pop culture to the rack, the Inquisition calls to account the events of the week, rooting out heresy wherever it is found. I am Grand Inquisitor Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and joining me for tonight's torture is Nerderotic Channel's Grand Inquisitor Gary Beekler. Gary, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing, it's today somewhere, and it's tonight right here. I am doing great. I mean, I really love two of my favorite franchises being considerate enough to fail together to save us all time. So we don't have to, spread this out over the year. We can just get it out of the way. Star Wars is done, and they've turned the page, and now we can do this with Star Trek and Doctor Who together.
It's convenient when ordering flowers and wake invitations and shit like that. This is very efficient, and I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thanks, CBS.
Thank you.
Thank you, BBC.
My God, the writing has been stunning and brave, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been just awful. I don't even know. Honest to God, I have so many issues with this episode, even beyond the usual issues of canon and how horrible it is with the character. It's just plain nonsensical and boring. I mean, they actually made action scenes boring.
Mm-hmm.
I was so just fucking like lethargic and I felt like my energy was being sapped and sucked through the television, because honestly, was there any point where we were honestly supposed to care about anything in this episode? What I mean, we'll get down to the nitty gritty of the things that didn't make sense to me, but what is the point of any of this now?
It's just setting up scenarios so they can get to their big shock scene. So it's Mystery Box Who, which quite frankly Moffat did too. We're not going to lie about that. But he had
a story getting us there. You know what I mean? And Moffat is too scattered in ADHD as a writer. I mean, he turned Doctor Who into a spastic, timey-wimey, running around constantly like a chicken with your head cut off kind of narrative. Like it's a kid story. Really, honestly, Moffat wrote like it was like a kid. Like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and whoa, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And he's like omitting why we should care. Davies was the guy. Davies was the guy that knew how to write, how to wrap you up in a narrative, make you care, have rhythms to the story, not just endless boo 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 boo, just running around like a fucking kid, that needs some damn Ritalin or something.
We talked about it earlier. Moffat was very good at the singular episode. He's really good at that was the frustrating thing about him, because he would make you care about characters. Like he would set up things that sounded really cool. He just couldn't pay anything off, like nothing.
No, well, under Davies.
Yep.
I mean, he wrote some of the best episodes under Russell T. Davies.
Yeah, those two worked really well together.
They worked very well, but then when he had control, it's just like, wee! Let's just run around. Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, blah blah blah. And then we didn't even know how bad it could get till Clara came, and then oh man, it took a whole other level of suck. Right up there was, I mean, I almost said right up there with Star Trek Discovery, but I have to say, I think Clara is the most annoying fucking character on any of the shows. I mean, she's right up there with Mikey Spock. She's neck and neck with Mike. She drove me away from Doctor Who,
and a lot of other
Clara
people
drove me away from Doctor Who.
And I would compare her to the current companions, but they don't say enough. I mean, they don't actually have enough control over the episode. They're just backdrop to react to the Doctor, and
just boring.
They've been split up the last two episodes, and the Doctor was barely in this episode. And listen, they are trying. I mean, they are trying to be better. This season is better in some ways than last season, but at least last season, in its it was pathetic, but they didn't like destroy any canon. They didn't try anything bold. Now they're trying to be bold, and it's like, oh, maybe we should just hope for another season 11 and let this thing kind of go by and get over with without damaging Doctor Who canon. But it doesn't look like this was a big setup. This was obviously a big setup for what's going to be an episode where the Radio Times said you're going to need to have a drink afterwards and everything's going to change. So, there's a possibility that they'll change everything and change it back, or this could permanently change it. But the image we have up right now was accidentally posted by Mandeep Gill. This was passed on to me. This is a screen cap that Mrs. Nerdrotic caught. She passed it to me right before the episode started. And I'm sorry I can't make it bigger, but if you look in there, you see Barristan Selmy on the left, Kuchomo or Kuchimi or Shlomo, Robot Rob Shlomo from Midnight's Edge. He's sitting there and with the girl who I don't know her name. She was in the entire episode and I have no idea. No idea. Okay, so writing 101, and this is somebody who's been kicked out of 3 high schools. You need people to call each other by their names more than once in an episode, so we know what the names are. You can't just say something once and think everybody's going to catch it. We need some, twice. That's all I ask, twice. So Barristan Selmy sitting there, and Mandeep Gill took this shot, and I guess she didn't realize what's above his head and didn't realize that might possibly be a spoiler.
Could he maybe be Rassilon?
Yeah. So
does that mean that Timmy was Rassilon somehow? Timmy that got shot and fell off a cliff, and then somehow, for some weird reason, they grab him after he retires and they drag him in the chair and they make him go, ah!
That's
what was that?
Okay, I don't know. I'm thinking it was a Time Lord of some kind. At first, I thought it was going to be like some prototype Cyberman, and then a Time Lord, because it healed, but we don't know. So they had this whole flashback interconnected with the episode, and it wasn't connected to the episode at all. I mean, like it was random, and you would think they would have given us something, but that's Chibnall's writing. This is the fatal flaw with his writing. No matter, forget like you said, forget the canon, forget the identity politics. Just let's talk about this as an episode.
Yes.
His biggest problem is he'll set stuff up and like Stephen Moffat, he can't pay anything off. But unlike Stephen Moffat, he can't characterize at all. I do not give a crap about anybody in the show. And then he sets up action scenes with actors who just cannot. They weren't capable of selling it, and it looks like a high school drama being played out, a bad fanfic. It was embarrassing. I know that the bad guys have to miss when they are shooting at the good guys, but when you have them just standing there like yelling at each other, get on the ship, close the door, no, you get on I don't know what the fuck that was, but they're just pew 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 pew, miss, and then you've got all the Cybermen drones like pew pew pew, missing. I mean, my God, man, you can only do that for 1 or 2 shots, and then you start to think maybe these computers, these targeting chips in their heads, maybe they shouldn't have gone back in time to 1974 Radio Shack to get them, because it just something's wrong there. Something's really wrong. It is. We got better drones today, man. I love how when something played out on screen, it's like the cyber drones were coming. It's the cyber drones, and then they started firing. They're firing at us, and then they start targeting the defenses. They're targeting our defenses. It's like, oh my God! If the actors weren't telling me what was going on the screen, I wouldn't know. But they won't call each other by their fracking names.
No, I have no idea what they were named, and I don't care enough to look in the credits or look it up on IMDb. I just don't care. And this whole thing was terrible. Why is this Cyberman so important?
Well, according to the story, he volunteered to be a Cyberman, and then they rejected him. And now we'll get to some leaks that our good friend Noel at the TARDIS Zone put up on Twitter. But do you shout out to Noel, by the way.
Mandeep messed up here?
Oh, I totally. Yeah, she deleted it according to this. Yeah, I think it's simply the Rassilon symbol, and I think she probably didn't even know what that was. So she didn't think it was a big deal, and she didn't realize that was like hanging there in the background. And they go, "Mandeep, that's the seal of
Well,
Rassilon
shit,
above his head." That's kind of a big spoiler.
To quote the immortal Barry Manilow, "Oh, Mandeep, it was lame, but you came and you posted."
Barry, well sung, sir.
Oh, Mandeep, I couldn't resist.
Well, Mandy, oh my God, there's a parody right there.
Oh, Mandeep.
Yeah, so they done screwed up maybe. And there's some leaks. We're going to talk about it again. They're from Noel. And Noel wanted us to shout something out, which I'll do later. And I do have to shout out a couple of things a little later, including Space Command has got another crowdfunder set up, and I interviewed Mark Zickery, and I'll give you guys that information later in the episode. And that interview should come out tomorrow or Tuesday. It was supposed to come out Saturday, but just until the 30-hour day gets invented, I don't think it's going to happen. It's just been crazy. And yeah, those leaks are going to be interesting. We're also going to discuss Star Trek Picard, of course. I believe this is the episode. Listen, I haven't liked them, but they haven't been like horrifically Star Trek Discovery bad. They've just been garden variety bad to me. This last episode was just completely off the cliff. I mean, just drove it right off the cliff. Whatever hope I had was gone, which was not much, to be honest with you. But it was just terrible. And there might be some good news. This might be the only time we've ever prayed for a writer's strike.
Make it stop. Make them stop.
May 1st. So that is not far away, folks. We are a little over 2 months away from scripted television coming to a halt. As far as if stuff that's in production now is fine. But come May 1st, if you're in production and you need to change something on the script, I don't exactly know what the rules are, but I'm guessing you can't write anything during a writer's strike.
No. Unfortunately for us, Star Trek is the one production on television that will be immune to the writer's strike, since they don't have any writers. So
they were looking ahead right there, weren't they?
They were
like a writer's strike.
Hey, man, we can beat this writer's strike thing if we just don't employ any writers at all.
There we go.
It's brilliant. And like the Writers Guild can't like sue them. They like the defense in court would be just to show a fucking episode, and they'd be like, "You're right.
You're right. They're fine."
Yeah, that's it. We don't. Okay. Fair enough. Because they suck. Because they're the worst fucking writers I think I've ever seen in my life. For God's sakes. And the BBC stinks. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to insult any of my fellow Doctor Who fans. These are terrible scripts, but there's nothing quite like the just rapid fire stupidity of a Star Trek Discovery script and a Star Trek Picard script. Talk about ugly, stupid, canon violating, intellect defiling. It's just the worst shit I've ever seen.
I'm not arguing with you at all. It's just been God. I have to go back and watch tonight. I've got to watch a good episode of Doctor Who, and now I have to do it with TNG or some kind of Star Trek. I usually watch original series. Come on, that's the one I go back to the most. But
that's right.
Damn it. But let's welcome some people here. We got Captain Robert April. Hail, my friend. Nitram, Marco Antonio, Cheka Funke, DW, Moons of Madness, Mark Lurzeth and his wrench, the last king of Scotland. Hail the last king of Scotland. Michael Stanbridge, tech guy, Hecate's daughter, Caldenza, Cardinal Sin, Darth Cisco, Ice Machine 79, Jeff Soul, Dick 435, because the other 434 were taken. Mary Ashmead and her wrench, Crimson Mist, which actually 7 of 9 turned somebody into a Crimson Mist in Star Trek Picard.
I know, but I just wish she'd turned the whole fucking cast into a red mist. Then I'd be like, yay, go 7 of 9. But
yeah,
unfortunately, she didn't pull through.
She didn't. Les Brewer, Little Poet Boy, Rich Millicey, Rageface, Donnie Pearson, Nick Palmi. Oh my God, I'm going to get this right. Palmisano. Thank you. Ryan Griffiths, JB, and Biff Bamboo. Biff Bamboo. Say that 20 times.
I love that. Biff Bamboo is a great name.
Too. I do. Okay. So we're Doctor Who. And again, I was actually expecting major canon violations this episode. And like, oh, of course, they're going to just do them all at the end of the next episode. They're just going to fill it full of running around. And it was just random action scenes put together. We didn't know any of the new characters. There was a couple of cowardly dudes, of course. And the fam split up from the Doctor and Ryan. Ryan is forgettable in every episode. Yaz actually was put in charge at some point. Graham is, the one good character has been reduced to nothing now. And
really,
I'm just thankful it's almost over. And then there's another 16-month wait. Supposedly they're gonna, Chibnall is coming back. I don't know. It's weird to me that they announced that again, because they just announced that a month ago, and people are acting like it's new news. Chibnall said he was coming back for a new season, but they recently came out. It's almost like they're trying to signal boost it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they already announced all that they're coming back, and they're going to do another season. And okay, great.
Excuse me, they're going to do another season.
Yes. Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Season.
And we'll see how long it is. We'll see if it's actually 10 episodes or if it's a bunch of specials. But I think it's pretty clear that they'll do 3. They'll probably bounce, and then who knows what happens. Wouldn't it suck if it gets canceled right before its 60th anniversary? I don't think they'll do that.
Well, how are they going to avoid it? I don't know. This thing is a loser. They like at the end of this, they said the final episode of the season that changed everything. And I say, well, at least that's true. When you lose almost 2/3 of your audience, that is a change. That did change a lot.
Yes.
So losing almost 2/3 of your audience, that'll do it.
Well, remind me, it's on the tip of my tongue here, Doomcock. There was a franchise recently that was having a lot of trouble, so they decided to be bombastic about it and end the Skywalker saga. That was it. End the Skywalker saga.
That's it. That's right. They just said, hey, they were like Skywalker Nazis. No Skywalker for you. It's
exactly.
Like on Seinfeld. No Skywalker for you. You like the Skywalker? No Skywalker for you. All you get is Palpatine, pal. Palpatine. That's it. That was what the thing was about all along, and that's what you're going to have to shove down your throat. And even shills like Scott Mendelson have had to say, I think Star Wars may be irreparably damaged.
Yep.
Well,
his spin was wrong, but in a very strange way, Disney did bring a large portion of the fandom back together again in loathing.
That's right. Even the shills are kind of throwing down, I got nothing. I don't know what to say. It sucks.
Well, they just go, well, The Last Jedi was a piece of art, and they went away with what was real Star Wars. And it just makes you at that point, I'm like, it doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, you could go ahead and think Last Jedi is the greatest movie ever. We can all agree it's destroyed, and you can sit there and think it's because of the fall of Skywalker. I think it's all 3 of them personally. So I think it was The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Fall of Skywalker, and that's it. And it's done. And you got Mandalorian and Baby Yoda and Juan Solo, Cassian Andor was put on hold. Maybe do we know if that's confirmed or not?
I know I haven't got it confirmed.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised. If they'll do that to Obi-Wan, they'd do it twice to Castor Andor or whatever his name.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, they do that to Obi-Wan. Shoot, anything's up for grabs at this point. They're probably going to put a halt to everything, probably until Kathleen Kennedy's gone. You know, I think they just don't want any more of this shit. She's done enough damage. You know, if there's any truth to the rumors that she's out, but it seems like, or not entirely out, but you know what I'm saying? Like you know, dead franchise walking, you know, dead producer walking, you know, not stripped of power, stripped of authority, just waiting for the right time to just fucking, you know, get out of here. But she ain't coming back again no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh God, no. if Kevin Feige says he wants Star Wars, he's going to get Star Wars. And I think he said he wanted Star Wars. I pointed out before. Now you had the rumor that Kathleen Kennedy was possibly, and again, rumor,
right? Banned from the set.
Banned from the set.
I was informed of this by someone with direct knowledge of the production. I'll just say that. I mean, I could be more specific, but I can't. You know what I mean? But I mean, it wasn't like, you know, it's somebody that, and it doesn't have any like reason to lie to me or anything. But you know, take it with a grain of salt. It's just a rumor. It also could be that the original, you know, source of the information misunderstood. You know, it could be a misinterpretation. God knows. I mean, look, I just go ahead and say these things because they come to me. They're interesting. And some people may take some hope from them, but I don't know for sure. We won't know for sure for a while.
Yeah, I whether she visits it or not, I don't believe she has any influence on it. At all. No. So that's the important part. And I told the story on Friday that you know, that's not unheard of. Now, I was at Tesla, but we had a guy who was third in charge, and he wasn't allowed in parts of the factory after he got in trouble. And he had to write out his contract, and then when he was done, they canned him publicly. But there was parts that he was persona non grata in the areas that he was supervising, so he wasn't allowed to go there. He was allowed to go everywhere else that he didn't have any power, but where he had power, he wasn't allowed to go. So that happens. I mean, it's a real thing. And Jeremy pointed out Peter's being banned from the set by Nolan, but I mean, that's just common sense, to be honest with you. You know, Nolan and right. didn't help, but you know, so I think Star Wars is, I mean, it's just boring. I mean, I think it's going to be boring. You know, Mandalorian, if it gets people excited, good. I mean, if you guys like it, awesome. That's great. I'm happy for you. It's not terrible. And I think it might be a step in the right direction, and it's going to take them years to rebuild this.
It can. And it'll never be the same.
No.
It can never be the same. I mean, too many people have said we're walking away, never again. You know, now there's ill will in a franchise that really didn't have that level of hatred. I mean, honestly, even during the, you know, prequel era, when fans were bitterly divided, bitterly unhappy, but it still wasn't this level of ultimate animosity. It was a disappointment in the quality. It was a sense that Lucas had lost his way, rather than Lucas was deliberately, you know, sabotaging his own work to be a dick, or didn't want to, you know, didn't want to, you know, give fans acknowledgement, or give fans what they wanted. I think George Lucas was accused of being misguided and screwing up, and not knowing what fans wanted, as opposed to Disney just fucking disregarding what fans want. And that's really what it was. They just completely wanted to jettison the fandom, and now they're paying the price for it.
No, and the two things I'll agree with Scotty Mendelson on completely is they will no longer have a $2 billion movie. That's not they're going to have to lower their goals now. And, you know, and a $1 billion movie, sure, maybe, but I think it might be, you know, less than, I don't know. It was pretty easy to hit $1 billion these days in the movie theater, but well, without China, It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And I don't believe. Oh my God, I forgot my second. Just flew right out of my head.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
God, I hate it when that happens. Well, I don't want to agree with Scott Mendelson. So,
so you were rebelling.
I'm fighting against it. Oh, damn, I forgot what the other thing was now.
Scotty Mendelson. Well, it was, you said you agreed with him on 2 points,
I got one of them. I'll remember the other one in a second.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
Oh yeah, I'm tired too.
But I don't think it has much of a future. I don't think it recovers from this, and it just motors along with the really hardcore fans. And that's what's going to happen with all of these franchises. The thing is, they eroded that hardcore fan base, which is the thing that carries you through. I've said it over and over again. Doctor Who's done that. There's like a cascade effect. Once you hit a certain point with the fandom, it doesn't matter how good you get, they just take off, and it's too bad. And when the bankers lose faith, that's when because these things are really expensive to make. And I echo the words of Bruce Campbell, who did a Q&A. I've told you this story before, but I'll tell the new people here. He was talking about superhero movies, and he said that the minute something else hits, that there's a new trend where producers can save money and get away from superhero films and genre, they'll run to it. I bet you Hollywood longs for the days of the mid 90s when it was all about the independent films. They were just dying for the, that's when they were.
And look at
massive
what we got.
profits.
I mean, we got really great movies. Look at Pulp Fiction. Look
that started the whole craze.
I mean, the Miramax stuff. Say what you will about Harvey Weinstein. I mean, he knew how to make movies, and I think they didn't need to throw away, making good movies along with the patriarchy or whatever. I wish that they had retained. I wish they could have split them in two, like with a transporter accident with Kirk and the evil Captain Kirk. They could have split Harvey Weinstein into womanizing son of a bitch, and then the guy that can actually make great indie movies. That would have been handy.
Yep, I just remembered what it was. Okay, so and they should have taken if they really wanted to get it right, just taken all the time you needed. Tell the actors, hey, you're on Star Wars. So we need another year. And that, how many times could that have helped films? They get so dead set on these release dates, and you got to think if it's a movie, it's like clickbait. It's like a clickbait, video. You got to get it out a certain amount of time, and you got to bring the people in. And that's what all Star Wars was true clickbait, Rise of Skywalker. And it was actually the, Rise of Palpatine. That's what you call clickbait. There was no real Skywalkers there. They had to make up a name at the end. It was ridiculous. But if they would have taken another year, maybe they could have gotten something more coherent. Oh, maybe if they got a new director too, that would probably have helped. I've never seen anything very coherent from Jar Jar Abrams, but it could have happened. You never know. And Game of Thrones. Crap. Game of Thrones had added a couple more seasons and got new showrunners. It might have been saved. And they're really, you hear, we can't do this. Well, you really want to make money off these things off the back end forever. That's why you invested in Star Wars and you built up this Game of Thrones. That's the biggest waste of all time right there. Game of Thrones is the biggest waste of all time because its legacy is dead as far as television is concerned.
Who the hell could watch it anymore?
Yeah.
Who could watch it? I have no idea. I have no interest whatsoever in ever revisiting that universe.
No.
I still am angry. I was out goofing around looking at toys this weekend, and I saw a big ice spider. It was just like one of these shilling figures or something, and it just made me mad all over again because I was promised ice spiders the size of hounds that were running through the streets with the Night King. I thought all sorts of fucking chaos and damage and monstrosities. We didn't get anything. We got one lousy episode in the dark and then Arya like just gets a lucky hit on the guy, and that's it. Ta-da! That's it. That's it. All the fucking Dothraki, what did they come to? Nothing. Nothing. Completely pointless, dude. They lit their swords and ran off to oblivion, got extinguished. That was it. So much for them. I mean, it was painful.
It was okay. What? Two episodes of people walking to a castle, then they have a battle, and then the survivors spend another episode walking to another castle, and then they kill each other, and then they walk back to their respective castles at the end. That's Game of Thrones season 8. And a bunch of people lived. And the Night King was he was the night bed nurse, and he was the night wet nurse.
He was the night porter,
chambermaid. Yeah, night porter.
He was the chamber pot.
Yeah, the night chamber pot.
He was the night chamber pot. He was just there to be used. To be used by the necessities of the plot. That's why he was there.
If they are smart, which I doubt they are, this prequel that's coming out, I would make this a reboot. I would absolutely have it set in the book universe. I honestly just start over. I mean, it's a prequel anyway, so you can start over because when you do prequels to something that had a bad ending, you're just leading up to something you don't give a crap about. So, and they're investing so much money into this prequel, and they've already canned one. They've already burned a bunch of money. How bad I wish I could see that pilot. I heard it's awful. I heard it's so bad. I heard it's like super woke Game of Thrones.
No shit.
Yeah, I heard it's like Downton Abbey woke Game of Thrones.
and we'll never see it. They just canceled it.
No, we'll never
see it. God, will somebody leak it? That would be perfect.
I don't know. My HBO people have been spot on. I haven't run with any of the rumors, but maybe I should. But they were like dead on about Watchmen, and I was hearing that the Blood Moon would get canceled before it got canceled, and I just kind of sat on this stuff. But
Wokeman was one of the worst things last year. It was so bad, Gary. I don't even know what to say. And we've got Westworld coming up here in March.
Yeah.
So we'll be reviewing that. Is that going to be on Sundays too?
Yep. We're gonna have to probably adjust the time for the regular show or something. We'll talk about that. Maybe we could go earlier on the regular show and do Westworld because it airs at 9 my time.
Yeah.
So although I get the East Coast feed, so we can do it earlier, something like that. But yeah,
whenever I can see it, I'll come on and we'll do it. But
my hope
it's
like season 1, but it won't be.
No, it won't. I mean, it could be. I mean, it's a great premise, and yet already in the we see Ed Harris. He's evil as usual. We see the white male, the other white male, telling Maeve, "I want you to kill her." So they're trying to turn the sisterhood against each other, which is just it's going to be more of that.
Stand together, Doomcock.
Yes,
because they always do. Okay, giving Maeve the power to have just omnipotent control over all the other androids was, what a dumb move. Dumb. Yeah, she should be able to win every situation she walks into. That's I don't know how it made no sense at the end. And again, it sucks. The first season was great. I loved it. But if you just watch the first season and it actually has closure, you can consider that an end and leave the rest of your imagination like a Twilight Zone. And it's pretty damn good. And it's a Nolan. It's Jonah Nolan, and usually he's good. It was kind of, season 2 was baffling.
It was absolutely horrendous. And I don't know how bad this is going to be, but I guess we're going to see.
We'll find out. Altered Carbon. I don't know if you liked Altered Carbon. I liked Altered Carbon. That's coming out on the 27th.
It was okay. The problem is I'd read the book and it didn't live up to the book. I didn't really think that the casting of the guy the lead was very good. Not the way I had pictured the character, and it wasn't written with the same kind of voice. I did like the AI hotel. That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Poe, yeah, Poe's awesome.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. We'll do a super chat here. We'll do a couple. We'll eke away. We're on a time limit tonight, folks. We got plenty of time right now, but we do have to cut it off at a certain time. The Box Ghost trademark. It's a trademark. For $2 says, any chance of getting the Drinker on one week? I wouldn't be against Doomcock and I doing a show with the Drinker sometime. Not against it at all. Drinker's awesome. So maybe sometime in the future on some other day. Yeah, absolutely.
Together, hang out.
Hell yeah. Drinkers,
popcorn, talk about girls.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, you guys could talk about booze. And then when
done,
I've
got some right now. I've got a Cole Ela 12-year that I'm drinking tonight, just to let you guys know. All you drinkers out there, cheers.
And when you guys are done talking about booze, I'll break out my AA book and said, have you heard the good news?
I need to confess my, sins, ask for apologies, apologize and ask for, take stock, right? I got to take stock.
Inventory. Well, I mean, you get, first you have to accept that you are powerless over alcohol and your life has become unmanageable.
Right.
And but you eventually get the inventory. That's around step 4. And then you have to take it over again, step 10 and stuff.
I'm just too much of I drink all the time, but I stop because I don't like hangovers. You can't be a proper alcoholic if, the hangover outweighs the need to drink. Where you say, I haven't had enough food on my stomach. I'm not hydrated enough. I'm going to have to take ibuprofen. I better stop. That's not really a proper alcoholic, is it?
No, it's not.
It's
proper alcoholic does not think about that stuff.
No,
it'll be fine. This will be the time I'm not hungover. I'll just get drunk again in the morning.
Ooh, no.
That's the bad sign. Criminal Imagination for 10 Canadian pesos says movie Blob gave Birds of Prey a 9 and Sonic a 2. Movie Bob has every right to his horrific takes. I don't know. I mean, he comes at his films politically motivated, in my opinion. I think it was that's what he seems like lately. The only time I ever see him is when he's on EFAP. That's the only time I ever see him is when he's getting roasted by Mahler and Rags.
Oh yeah, that's the guy. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I don't know who Movie Bob is, but that's right. Yeah. They've kind of attacked him from time to time.
That guy, you said it right here, Criminal Imagination. That guy is a contrarian for the sake of it. Exactly. If I and anyone else thinks Sonic was nothing like Smurfs or Alvin, he's there to say the opposite. Absolutely. And listen, YouTube is full of them. YouTube is full of contrarians. And God bless them. They do play a part in the world. Just not sure what. Eric Hawk for $5. Life Truth. Treat a franchise's characters and mythos like trash and attract viewers that enjoy treating others like trash or being treated as such. Ooh, that is really well said, Eric. Yes, you attract Drekkies and Jody bots and enablers. But I mean, these franchises won't be troubling us much longer. I mean, they can add seasons, and Doomcock, we've heard plans. There's tons of plans. There's always plans in Hollywood. Sometimes these plans don't come through. I'm not saying there won't be a season 13. I don't know if the ratings don't significantly rise in the next season, it's done. It's done. Especially if there's no license fee.
No, right. Well, that's going to kill it right there. If you can't force people to pay for this thing, who will?
I'd like to force them to make a good show that's for everyone and stop being so divisive. And again, it doesn't mean you can't be political sometimes. It just depends on the writing. But this is purely agenda-driven, divisive. It's only for a certain part of the fandom, and a large part of the fandom feels disenfranchised from Doctor Who. That's why people, watch, yours truly and Bulls Trek and Doomcock and everybody else. We just turn on our mics and our cameras, and YouTube puts out not as much as the recommendations, and people come. It's not. This isn't anything new. I don't know. I'm sorry if I have to say this out loud. I'm kind of responding to people who will be in the chat. Most of you know this. Doomcock knows this. But what we do is nothing new. It's just on YouTube, and it's just it's just fans doing this now, and not quote unquote so-called professionals, which I'm having a hard time not laughing saying that. This has been done in talk radio. This has been done in media. It's currently being done in late night television all the time. We're just opinionating. That's it. And we try to do it with a little flair and a little entertainment, and you be the judge of whether we pull that off or not. But people calling just what would I read today from a Jeremy tweet? Clickbait epidemic. It's an epidemic. Oh my God. Because fandom's always been this fa-la-la place with unicorns farting fucking lilac ice, smelling ice cream, and we're all going to go to heaven. And we all just sat around talking about the good points of Star Wars all the time, and Star Trek. And Star Trek fans never fought with Star Wars fans. They always got along and said, your show's good. No, your movie's better. No, we've never got along. It's always been like this. But it was Marvel versus DC. It was a lot more innocent than it is now. And it's because it became the big thing. It got invaded by the normies. And frankly, there's certain parts of our of fandom that probably should have stayed niche. Raylos, stuff like that,
Yeah.
And maybe even comic books, there's big news. Dan Didio got fired. There was a big Comics Pro Summit in Portland, and they came back saying everything's fine. It's like, you are kidding. And don't get me down that road. But I used to be in Comics Pro. I was one of the early members of Comics Pro, and it was supposed to be an organization of comic book retailers to kind of get together, to have one united voice, to have some kind of power against the publishers and the distributors. And the first thing Comics Pro did was invited DC into the fold. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? We're like trying to it's a bad analogy, but the Comics Pro, it wasn't exactly a union. I mean, you didn't have to pay dues. We wouldn't go on strike or anything like that, but we were trying to be an organization to have some kind of power. And that's like inviting, a Walmart union, inviting the manager of Walmart over to their event all the time and allowing Walmart to give free stuff to the union. I mean, that's what they did. That's what DC did because they're smart. Mm-hmm. And apparently Dan Didio was Dildo, whatever you want to call him, was supposed to speak. Yeah. And he got fired. And a lot of people are happy, including my son. Nerdrotic Jr. is ecstatic that he's gone. I don't think I would say wait until he gets replaced. If he gets replaced, maybe EVS has been talking about this, and I agree with them that they might just fold the retailer wing or fold it into something else. Mm-hmm. Put the offices over, or they're already in LA, and comics could end as we know it. They came back from the summit spouting all this. Okay, so they said 40 more comic shops opened last year than closed, whatever the hell that means. But John F. Trent from Bounding Into Comics pointed this out to me. Two of the biggest retailers who I know, Joe Field and Brian Hibbs, both posted that they had really hard. They had a very hard time at Christmas. They had their Christmas sales were down significantly to where they had to ask for help publicly. Whoa. And Joe Field is like one of the best retailers, ever. He created Free Comic Book Day. He's the man. He's a really nice guy, and he runs a damn good comic shop. And if he had to ask for that publicly, I know that must have been hard for him. But you have to do that if you want to save the thing you love. Now, he didn't say he was closing. He was saying I might have to go to a different location and downsize. This is a strong store, though. So that's an indicator. So everything is not fine. And this is a result of filling your entertainment with identity politics. This is the direct result. Now, things were hard anyway. Okay. It's not the only thing that's killing comics, but it didn't need it. You don't need to be alienating fans at any point. And Doctor Who can't afford it now. Star Trek can't afford it now. Real quick. So I'm working on my Star Trek Picard review, and this is all connected, by the way. I'm working on my Star Trek Picard review. I put up a clip on Twitter, and I'm pulling a lot of video, and I went back to the Star Trek Picard announcement, which was 2 years ago at Star Trek Las Vegas. It's available online. I want you to look at the crowd right after they announced that, right after Sir Patrick Stewart says, I will be back as Picard. And they pan the crowd, and the crowd's like, yay. Take a good look at that crowd. Take a good look at that crowd. Find me one person under the age of 30, much less 35.
Wow.
I challenge you. I looked.
So it was an older audience.
Average age looked 50. I mean, most people looked older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm old. So, and I noticed that when I was there, a couple people doubted me on that, but I'm like, no, I was there all 4 days, average age 35, 40. I mean, it's aging out. Comics are aging out. Star Wars is aging out. Doctor Who had a bunch of youngsters, lost them immediately. So you got to think about legacy with this. And that goes back to Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. When you make these decisions to alienate fans because you're following some current trend, and that's all this really is just following the times to be relevant, your legacy, you kill your legacy. And they used to care about this stuff, and they don't anymore.
Well, let me just, can I just take a moment to address
Absolutely
CBS? I understand that your marketing department was concerned that the Star Trek fandom was aging out, right? So you thought, well, let's go for a different audience. You wanted to go ahead and go for a youthful audience or a, au courant audience that would kind of buy into this brutal, stupid, ugly bullshit. But let me tell you, I'm not a marketing genius. I didn't go to business school, but I do know this. The way to have extended the life of Star Trek was not to discard your audience. The way to extend the life of Star Trek was to do a show that would have a combination of old and new so that it would still appeal to Star Trek fans, but make those Star Trek fans invite their children and their grandchildren to watch with them, to make it an actual cool family show like the original Star Trek was, instead of saying fuck all the time and ripping people's eyeballs out and having a severed baby head on the goddamn screen. Because no family is going to want to go ahead and subject their kids to that trash. So you blew it. You blew it. The marketing department blew it. Whoever it was that thought, oh, we're just going to totally discard the old fans in favor of the new. What new fans? Where are they? Where are they? Legions of brain dead idiots out there. That's what you've got now. You've got the people that watch it while they're tweeting on the phone, and they only look up when there's an explosion or an F-bomb or something that they chuckle and go back to their fucking tweeting. They're not fans. That's why you have no licensees. Because nobody wants to buy your garbage. You have screwed yourselves. You have destroyed Star Trek because you wouldn't dance with who brung you. Because you listened to guys like Kurtzman and Bad Robot that said, we're going to do a new, hip, modern Game of Thrones in space Star Trek. How did that work out for you? How did that work out? I just want to say, cut through all the bullshit, okay? You go ahead and you look at your numbers and you look at your licensees, okay? You all say, oh, he's like only spreading rumors and stuff. Okay, go ahead and ignore all of that. You go to your like vault, your gold vault, and you look at it, you see how much Star Trek gold you've got. And if you've got a whole fistful of great Star Trek gold and you've got licensees out the ass that we just don't somehow know about, and you really do have like, I don't know, 8 million people watching Star Trek, which is absolutely absurd. I don't think it's even 2 million at this point. I wouldn't even, I would be surprised if it's 200,000, honestly. I don't know though, but you know, look in your souls, look in your bank accounts, look in your ledgers. And you Be honest with yourself. Is Star Trek a hit or is it dead? Because I tell you what, if you'd have just made it a family show, quality, something crafted with love that is respectful of the old and accommodating to the new, introduce some new elements to it. You know, you could go ahead and have whatever your marketing department feels will attract young adults. Fine, whatever. But don't jettison your old fans, because now you have no fans. That's where you are.
Absolutely. Well said.
I mean, Jesus Christ, include people, don't exclude people. All of these companies are excluding people, Gary.
Yep.
All of them. This movie isn't made for you, boomer. It isn't made for you, white males. The Force is female, blah, 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 blah. Okay, then don't bitch when we don't show up. And don't bitch when your goddamn productions are in the red.
Yeah. But they will. I mean, we've already seen that with Birds of Prey. Well, it was men's fault until they came out with there was the fault of men. And they came out with the data. No, actually, mostly men watched it. You need to blame the women who didn't go, but they went and saw Aquaman. Wonder why. It's really well said, my friend. And
it's just so obvious, dude. It's so obvious. I don't know. Why do we have to tell them this shit? That's why I don't. Well, I am not a marketing expert, but it just seems to me you're not going to get anywhere excluding the audience that has been faithful for fucking 50 years. And you may look out there and you may see a sea of faces that have got some wrinkles on them. But the answer is not to discard those people. The answer is to get those people to bring their families into it.
Yeah. And you want as many people as possible. And nothing is stopping Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who from creating new characters, which, hey, they've made an attempt to do that in some cases, and it just failed because they didn't put a real effort. With Star Wars, they just, okay, we hired these 3 actors. One of them's a good actor, but you gave them nothing. There was no plan. In other cases, like with Marvel Comics, they're just swapping characters. In my 10 years of my store, working in San Francisco, take a drink, where in San Francisco. So it was, one of the most diverse places in the country. I was right next to San Francisco State. I didn't hear a single person say, I really need Batman to look like me. Not a single person, male, female, nothing, never. Now, if they would have created a new character and, pick whatever, race you want or whatever, that they would have probably gotten behind that there's nothing wrong with that. Start with scratch, really invest in that character, give them a top-notch writer. For example, it's a white guy, but Daredevil is a crappy character. They gave him the Frank Miller and he turned Daredevil into one of the best characters in comics. You can do the same thing. With Swamp Thing, they give it to Alan Moore, best character in comics. You can do this. Take the time, get a good enough person on it. Instead, they take, Jason Aaron, who was a pretty good writer, and they do female Thor. And it's like, why don't you just have him do a new character and make it part of the Marvel universe and really make it happen. Now, they tried that with Captain Marvel, and they gave it to the wrong writer. They gave it to somebody who was divisive, Kelly Thompson. Are you freaking kidding me? And it was clear from the get-go it wasn't going to work, and they still give her work. And
they're more interested in lecturing us and scolding us than entertaining us. And as long as they do that, they can go screw themselves. I'm not going to pay them any money.
Dana Schwartz is writing She-Hulk. She wants to kill Western canon. She-Hulk is a product of Western canon. I don't know what to say. You can't reinvent something to a weird or your we'll say niche. I won't say weird. We'll say niche worldview. I'll try to be nice. It's a niche worldview that you might get over when you're older. Actually, you probably will. We all go through our little phases in our 20s, which is just your teens with some rent. That's it. And you're ruining something because you come in because you're not a fan. You don't have a respect for it. So you come in, tear it apart, go, and leave. and then mock the fans who care. So if you're mocking the fans who care, you truly don't understand fandom. You truly don't understand comics or what you're in. You're just passing through. You're a tourist. If you want to be a fan, great. Be a fan. Learn it. Respect other fans. You don't have to agree. Respect doesn't mean you have to agree. Just means you have to respect. That's it. And respect who came before you and who built this stuff up, because they might still care too. And even though they're not currently working on the character, they are root for the character. They want that character to live on because it's their legacy. And it must really suck to watch some snot-nosed little punk come in and F up your character. That's what brings, Rick Berman tweets this. And I have no idea, honestly, what his motivation was. I could guess. I could really guess what his motivation was. But this was an epic tweet, whether he wanted to do it or, meant to do it or not. And the responses have been gold. And including our good friend Doomcox right here. I despise Star Trek. Picard, their rank incompetence has made people understand just how brilliantly you protected Roddenberry's legacy and what solid work you did on your very worst day. You make these guys look like amateurs. STP is Star Trek for and by people who hate Star Trek. And that is clear.
Amen.
Damn straight. And you guys look at this, man. All of our somebody put Clara. Don't Clara. There's Robot Rob Shlomo. There's Orville Nation. Look at that.
All right. The usual gang. Script Doctor. Look at that. Bear. It just goes on and on and on. Even Red Letter Media posted in on that. That was great. So I'm glad he did that. I think he was sending a little signal out. I don't know. What do you guys think? I suspect yes. I think it was maybe even just rubbing salt in. I mean,
I think it was
retired probably. I mean, I don't know that he'd be interested in coming back, but he just wanted to he just asked an innocent question, an innocent loaded question that couldn't have been more pointed.
Rick, I wouldn't have blamed you at all for saying miss me. Remember all the shit you were giving me for Enterprise? Yeah. Bet you wish you had me back now. And I on my review, I apologized to him. I did. I'm like, I am sorry if I ever said anything bad about you. I was wrong. I couldn't remember it off the top of my head, but the apology John Cleese does in Fish Called Wanda when he's hanging out the window. I apologize profusely and profoundly, and I would never do it again. It's a great scene.
Yes. And I want to send a shout out. Hail Cardinal Sin.
Yes.
Out there. Hail Cardinal Sin. Great guy.
Also, Jack Beers has been out there killing it, man.
Yeah.
Killing it. It's just been great. Anybody says anything about the Fandom Menace and yours truly and any of us around here, man, he is like, poof, go Jack.
Damn right.
Appreciate that,
Jack,
man.
it's awesome, man. Really.
And all of you who do that, Bionic Belly Button and there's a lot of great people out there. Basil, the pumping seagull. He's pumping.
Exactly.
We heard from Psycho Dwarf. Thank God, Psycho Dwarf. What's up, buddy? $5. From another respondent. 56th rule of acquisition. Good customers are rare as latinum. Treasure them. Yes. Ryan Johnson cost Disney $1 billion. I mean, God, yeah. His movie made money and The Fall of Skywalker made money, but they should have made more. If he would have kept his trap shut, even after The Last Jedi, if he'd have just come out once and said, I'm really sorry some of you don't like it. Opinions are subjective. I did the best I could. I tried to make the Star Wars movie I wanted to make, which, he said, but he was so antagonistic against so many fans. If he would have just come out humble and said, I did the best I could. I'm sorry some of you didn't like it. I will try better. I will try harder in my next movie. That's it. That would have been over. It would have been squashed. Done.
Yep.
Again, Jeff Fowler, Fandom should remember this guy forever for his just, and this is a simple little thing, but look at how appreciative, like maybe millions of people were, that the guy just came out and said, I heard you loud and clear. We're going to make changes. Thank you for your feedback. That's what you're supposed to say. It's not sexy. It might not get you a ton of likes. Actually, it probably would now. But it doesn't. It's not smarmy, and you're not going to look cool in front of your friends in Hollywood. And they, and listen, Hollywood probably got pissed at him for doing that. What are you doing? Listening to the fans. You're going to open a door you can't close. You're letting the wolf in the door. Blah blah blah. Every fucking analogy you can think of. No, for that moment, that was good customer service. Fans are now connected more than ever with the repurposer and the creative. This is the new era. That's exactly how you have to do it from here on out. If you're going to be on social media, you're going to get brutalized. Ignore it and focus on the positive, because there is more positive out there. I mean, honestly, who cares what an anonymous anime avatar says to you? Who cares? But if somebody's actually, and the thing is, they always conflate that with legitimate criticism, or somebody who's not even being that critical. I've seen creatives, especially in the comic book industry, go off on people who are just going, "Hey, I kind of had a problem with this one little thing." Phobe. It's whoa. That escalated quickly.
Twitter is such a distorted view of reality. I mean, it's sad. It's sad how messed up Hollywood is paying attention to Twitter. Same thing with politics, that they actually pay attention to Twitter.
Yep.
And it's like Twitter is like the extremist fringes of things. I mean, honestly, it gives a way distorted view of what most people think. Most people are normal and, not reactionary, not quick to offend. They're pretty laid back. If you're laid back, you're probably not on Twitter, generally, unless you have to be, and all the violent reactions that you get on Twitter tend to get amplified in the media by saying, "Oh, well, do people feel like this?" No, they don't. Not really.
Star Trek was universally loved. It was universally loved.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that people from all sides liked it, and now they don't. There's a lot of people who feel alienated by it, and we got to stop ignoring this question. For one, I mean, the goalposts were always being moved. So first, you're seeing things. You're seeing ghosts. It's not there. It's not there. So then people point it out. It's always been there. It's always been there. So it went from not being there to always being there. I don't know how. And then the latest one with Doctor Who is Doctor Who fans have always hated Doctor Who. Now, yes, they've always been vocal. That's called being fans. They always freak out every time there's a regeneration. That's part of the process. Usually 4, 5, 6 episodes into the new Doctor's first season, people are calming down, getting used to it, liking it, or they're out. That didn't happen with Doctor Who this time. It's not happening with Star Trek Picard. I've said it before. I've covered a lot of TV here. 4th episode, people are in and out of a new TV series. I don't know why. That seems to be and it just happened with the 4th and 5th episode of Star Trek Picard. And God, I lost track of how many murders. I tried to count how many people got killed in this episode.
None that mattered, none we cared about, none that were fully fleshed out. No real characters got harmed in the production of this this episode. But I mean, we and symbolically stretching out Star Trek on that slab and ripping its eye out, because that was actually a character from Voyager.
Yep.
Icheb, and it symbolically it was Star Trek writhing in pain as under the knife of Kurtzman and Chabot. I mean, just like the Vasquez rocks was a symbol that I could not get out of my head. They didn't even bother to symbolize it. Literally, it's right there. If they could have put Kirk on that table, they would have.
Oh God, yes. Oh well, there's still time. There's still time. My God, I heard they put out a Star Trek Discovery promo. I haven't seen it though. It's like a poster of a ripped up flag or something like that, a Federation flag.
Right. Well, they're going to destroy the Federation, destroy Starfleet. So get ready for that. I mean, it's like I've got the dope on the entire season, and it's bad. It's real bad.
I imagine so. So is it a race to who can destroy the Federation first? Star Trek Picard or
they're all working hand in hand.
Yeah.
Hand in hand. There is between Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard, there is not even a crack through which sunlight could emerge. They are the same damn thing. And if you don't think that, you're crazy, or a Trekkie, one or the other. Trekkies are inherently crazy, but they're also, have bad taste as well on top of it.
Or no taste at all.
Exactly.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. I was looking for it. Oh my God, for real. Oops, the target can't be found. Yeah, she's just holding a flag of some kind here. I will show it real quick. Michael Burnham, of course.
Kidding. They got Mikey Spock holding a tattered.
Yeah, right here on the right.
Oh, fuck. No, that's not her, is it?
Yeah, that's her.
Oh,
she got those extensions. She got extensions while she was waiting on the planet 900 years from now.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
What was wrong with her Slim Jim haircut?
Oh, she'll probably get it back. She'll probably get it back.
Are you sure that that's her?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like her.
It is. Absolutely her.
Oh my God. So she's going to be the she's going to be the standard bearer of the Federation. She's the bestest ever. And she's going to go ahead and revive the Federation. What's she going to do? Pull it out of her ass? Like
yes.
Kurtzman pulls out everything? Yes, that's what I have as well. My own Mikey Spock action figure.
Well, one of the most accurate action figures of all time, to be honest with you.
It is.
So let's get to some supers here, and then I guess we can talk about Picard. I mean, yeah, we. I know why that didn't come up. That was Daily Motion. What the hell? I don't want to pull that up. I really don't want to pull that up. Okay. So Zabe Denton for $2. A Doomcock in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Well, yeah, but if there were 2 Doomcocks in the bush, then that would make me a Klingork. So no. Just for Bush, please. Stupid. God, I hate that show so much. It makes my head want to explode, dude.
It's coming out this year too, right? Star Trek Discovery's coming out this year.
I mean, they already paid for the damn thing, so nothing can stop it now. But listen, I cannot believe that CBS is making money off this thing. I think they're hemorrhaging money, in my opinion. I can't see how it could be otherwise. Where's the buzz? Where's the trending? Where's the merchandise? Where's the enthusiasm? Where at the conventions are all the Star Trek Discovery costumes? Where the hell is it? There's nothing there.
No. Even at and we've talked about that. Even at Star Trek Las Vegas, there wasn't. I thought there would be more than there was, and there wasn't a lot. And it's funny. One of the guys who was cosplaying in Discovery, in a Discovery outfit, like, I love your channel. I'm like, really nice guy. He dressed up as a real Klingon and looked amazing. So
as a real Klingon,
like, yeah, not the Klingon, but as the real Klingons.
Well, how was he? Was he a Discovery fan?
He had this Discovery costume on first time I met him, and then he dressed up as a Klingon the next day.
Okay. He was trying to unify the.
Yeah,
they're trying to cross the streams. It never works out.
That's what the universal the thing I heard from everybody, and Tom and Rob can back this up. They were there. Is people want the fandom to get back together. They really don't like this split, and now we got a split in the split, and it's just a mess right now. And it's Alex Kurtzman. CBS has the power to change this. I would even be. Listen, I could compromise. They can't like rip down the sets and build new stuff. I mean, that would take years. They can't do it. But like, bring in just a new showrunner, like a brand new, good, experienced Star Trek showrunner, or even bring somebody back in the interim or something to right the ship, and you might have a chance. You might. That would at least be an effort.
On the same sets as part of the same show,
they would
never. Never. It's like
then it's dead.
like in the Star Trek movies, there can be no peace while Star Trek Discovery lives.
I don't know how much longer it's going to live. I don't know where you go.
I don't think it ever lived.
One of our mutual friends I was talking to, yeah, that's true, via private message, and he's hopeful that it can turn around, and I'm not. I just don't know how you turn this around on a dime. If they're going to start with if they want to reboot it, which we have not heard anything, that would take years. There would be no Star Trek for a few years, like none.
Good.
And
I don't want any.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. Listen, it's better just to not have it. I mean, it's like Pet Sematary. You ever read Pet Sematary, Stephen King?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's better just to not have your cat than to
agreed.
In the way that they come back. So
that's a good analogy.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what we've got. We've got this shambling monstrosity, a mockery of its former self. I don't want anything to do with that.
So Jack Beers pointed this out, and indicators, that's what we look for, because CBS doesn't give us any numbers. So you just go to videos. CBS All Access has 192,000 subscribers, okay, for a streaming service where they offer clips.
That's embarrassing.
Clips, I mean, of a major franchise. Here's the return of 7 of 9,
16,000 views
in 2 days.
In 2 days, I get 16,000 views typically between 2 and 3 hours. So
yeah, and if it's a mega hit video, you get that in 45 minutes.
Yes,
I have seen you get that in 45 minutes. I've gotten that in 45 minutes.
Yep. I've never when I have a video that is hit 1.7 thousand views or 2.2 thousand views, it makes me want to jump off a cliff. We've got 803 views 4 days ago. It just these are some of the worst numbers I think if I had numbers like that, I would be unhappy.
God, I hope I kept that picture. Oh, I did. Let's see if I can share this, if this will pop up. If it doesn't, I'm gonna, I'll put it in my Google Drive. I took a screenshot of Star Trek Picard episode 1, Remembrance. Oh no, that was a recap. Okay, I didn't save that. That's too bad. Here it is. Okay, here's the first episode. I'm going to upload this in my drive. I took a screenshot of his first episode of Will Wheaton's first episode. It was up for 5 hours and it had 4,000 views. Now, what happened was this thing got a bunch of views later, and what they do is they embed these videos in advertising. So they go and they advertise on Facebook and Twitter, but you'll notice that there's a very a low like count and stuff. So that means a lot of people clicked on it in the advertisement, but they didn't. So, I mean, you're seeing that right here with the, again, there should be, I mean, I don't know if there should be 100,000 views on, but we got the return of 7 of 9. People don't have, this is behind a paywall. So for people who might be interested or curious, they'll go, wow, 7 of 9's coming back. I'm going to go check it out. And 16,000 people. Dude, the making of Interrogation that's a
Creators Roundtable 194
views.
It's not 194,000, is it?
No, that is 194 views. Will Wheaton's recap episode.
33,000
views.
Every one of my Picard reviews has gotten more than that, and they have been anemic comparatively to my regular, because nobody cares about Star Trek anymore.
No,
nobody's watching this shit. Nobody's watching it. So my reviews, underperform, but I still do them because I hate this shit so much. I just want to speak the truth.
So here is Star Trek Picard. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. No.
Yeah, we see it.
You see that? Okay, good. That is the first episode, right? That is, it's got 194,000 views.
It's a recap of that first episode.
The very first episode. Notice that's it's a few weeks old now, and I'm going to show you where it was at after 5 hours because I got the screen cap. And this shows you the power of embedded advertising. 3,000 views in 5 hours. 5 hours.
How?
That's the same episode I'm showing you. So the first 5 hours. So if any other video for you and I, for any other YouTuber got 3.4 thousand views in 5 hours, it would top out. It would top out at maybe 20,000 views. There's no way in God's green earth you would get 192,000 views.
No way.
It is manufactured. That shit is manufactured. So even at 192,000 views, that's pretty sad for being Will Wheaton doing a recap of Star Wars or Star Trek. I mean, people should, I thought there was tons of Star Trek fans out there who love Will Wheaton. He had a ton of followers on Twitter. I mean, he blocked everybody, but he had a ton of followers on Twitter. So not only is the 192,000 bad, it's fake. It's manufactured. It's from advertising. My guess is the actual interest from actual people based on but traction we get on our videos is 20,000. 20,000.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, even if they didn't doctor it, what it is that Picard, when the first episode came on, there was enormous amount of curiosity, optimism, even by people that had been burned by Star Trek Discovery. They didn't listen to me. They wouldn't believe me. I mean, they're like, oh, you're being too hard on it. You got to give it a chance. Oh, it's Picard. I just want to see Patrick Stewart. I just want to see Patrick Stewart. Seeing Patrick Stewart as Picard, that's going to be worth it. They can't screw it up, And so a lot of people were genuinely interested in the first episode. Then they saw the damn thing, and boy, it starts going down. I am immune to hypnosis, and I am particularly immune to the thrill of seeing somebody reprise a classic role, because I suffered through Twin Peaks: The Return, and I suffered through 18 hours of that shit, literally 18 hours, waiting to see Agent Cooper again, instead of Dougie, instead of more fun with Dougie, as they're fucking doing. I don't know what in God's name David Lynch was thinking. Watching a guy with a broom sweep the bar, literally in one shot for about 2 minutes and 25 seconds of Green Onions. They just played that and showed him sweeping the floor. So I know that seeing a guy reprise his classic role that you loved, decades ago, does not equate necessarily to a success. And compound that with it's going to be Kurtzman and Chibana, the same idiots that brought you Sonar in Space and an AI that wants to be an AI, so it has to read up on being an AI so it can be an AI. Jesus. What a Russian nesting doll of fuck.
Absolutely. Another indicator, bottom right, if you can see the like to dislike ratio, it's got 6,300 likes to 453 dislikes. That's not bad, but 6,000 likes on a almost 200,000 view video is ridiculous. So that means the vast majority of people who watch this video weren't watching it on YouTube. And so that Picard episode that had how many? 3 million views, 2 million views.
Right.
I have a screenshot of that somewhere. Its first 5 hours, it only had like 16,000 views.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Then that means that was artificial, because if you only get 16,000 in the first hour or so, you're not going to hit.
You're not getting millions.
No, hell no.
I mean,
no.
Videos can take off later. It's rare,
not to that extent.
Oh, that's like finding a unicorn. It's happened to me twice in my 6 years on YouTube. So it's so, I mean, I question if CBS wants to prove us all wrong. We say it every week. Show us the numbers. Dude, I'll shut up. I mean, I probably wouldn't trust your numbers, but to be honest with you, and Parrot Analytics out there is trying to say this is the 4th most popular show, and they also say more people watch The Mandalorian and The Witcher. You've all heard my argument on that one. That is total horse shit. Mandalorian's good, but it's on a streaming service with 30 million subscribers, and I don't know if that's entirely true. I saw a big Verizon booth in front of my Pete's Coffee yesterday, Doomcock, that had a big sign that says Disney Plus for free. We give away Disney Plus for free with Verizon.
Wow. Well, that might explain certain numbers.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't gotten Disney Plus because I don't, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I have not watched The Mandalorian. It's because, I just don't feel like paying them any money. And, I saw the first one and I said, yeah, it's not enough to get me to go ahead and continue and pay. You know what I mean?
I've heard some defenses for Disney Plus. You can watch the full Spider-Man, the animated series and stuff. And I mean, if that's your selling point on Disney Plus, honestly, you were able to do that in other places, and I own the whole damn thing. So I got a bootleg back in the bootlegging days from Comic-Con. Those were good. But no, you're not going to hold anybody. I still think HBO Max. Well, it's either going to bury Warner Brothers or they're going to kick ass. I think they're going to kind of kick ass with it, to be honest with you. I think they're going to do very well with that when they come out. Oh, and CBS All Access is so successful, it's being absorbed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. They would not bother to absorb it if it was successful. But the problem is all the metrics that they have boasted about, which is rare. I mean, they hardly ever give you a number. When they do, they go ahead and combine Showtime and CBS All Access. Well, Showtime's a genuine, premium channel. I mean, it's been around for a long time. They've had some extremely good shows on there.
Oh God!
I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. Ray Donovan is fantastic. Masters of Sex was very good. They got a lot of good shows on Showtime. But you can't really compare CBS All Access and Showtime.
No. And Disney Plus is bigger than CBS All Access, so that's why. Yeah, things don't get when they're successes, they don't get absorbed. They don't go, you won. Now you're going to be absorbed into something else.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't work like that. So every indicator says that, like, I fully believe that they got more subs and they did well at first, like you said. And I think it's just eroded over time. My personal belief is in the second episode when Jabon says, why don't you call Geordi and Riker and Worf? No. As soon as he said no, people went, okay.
Right. Where are Riker and Troy?
You know what? We keep that clip that we saw in the trailer. I keep thinking it's the next episode.
What, he's going to go back home?
Do you oh my God. So they probably won't make it to Soji next episode either. They'll probably, next episode is where they might go. Who knows? No, it showed in the scenes that they got to him. Yeah. What happened to that clip?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're going to have to be on some bullshit alien planet that looks exactly like Picard's vineyard.
Yeah,
because it looks like Picard's vineyard.
It looks like
it's in California. I mean, look, it's the same location. Okay, they're not gonna go to the trouble of finding a new. They're just gonna shoot the same location on a different angle. Come on.
That's probably a vineyard in like Temecula or something, and they probably went to, they probably just went to another vineyard until, like, there's plenty of them down there. Or they went down to Bonsall or
I mean, it's just so pointless. And besides, where the hell is he going? Why would he even stop there? And by the way, the leak that was on 4chan about 7 of 9 early on being like a kind of a resistance fighter and shit like that. True.
Oh yeah. We do need to point those out every time one has happened.
Yeah.
And yes, you are correct. That was true.
So Cardinal Sin is saying that they're actually going to make Riker and Troy just a hologram on Rio's ship, because I mean that means they're not even there. I mean, why would they be a hologram? I mean, they can't. If they actually did that, if they made just Riker and Troy just a little hologram that he's having on Rio's ship, I mean, that would be just the most. I hope they do it so that I can get out like the most savage video I've ever done on that shit. I would love it, but I mean, come on. Even they couldn't be that stupid, because then they're not even real. I mean, why would Picard even do that?
Cardinal Sin, is that true? I mean, like,
well, he's just saying that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He says Cardinal Sin says know the location. Well, but they are in the location. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So,
okay, so
anyway.
maybe he's talking to them in some kind of weird. Okay, I mean,
the whole thing. The time for them is past. Why would we have them?
He said, okay, we're on the
going
clock
out. You're going out there. Well, he's out there now. So, I mean, have they just cut them? Have they just cut them? Is one of the license thing that they just decided, yeah, you know what? We don't need it now. Has Kurtzman cut them?
Because that scene was them talking. At least maybe it was taken out of context, but he says, I'm glad you didn't talk me out of this, which means he's still going on the mission. By the way, Critical Drinker pointed this out. I want to give him credit. For me, this is the first time. I mean, it was a good point that I should have caught, but like, they're on the clock. Like, they're running out of time. They need to save Soji, but we're going to make like 19 stops on the way and build this whole crew. And we're going to meet Romul Legolas for a second and then make him background comic relief in the second episode after you dedicate an entire episode bringing him onto the crew. And then he's all of a sudden goofy and there's over familiarity going on. It's total bullshit. And so what is he going to make one more stop before Soji? It's like, wait, I know we're on the clock, but I need to talk to Will real quick. You know, it's like, what the hell?
Well, they've got to kill time, man. I mean, how many episodes? Is there 10 episodes?
There's 10. There's 10.
Well, they got 5 hours more of nothing. I mean, what are they going to do when they get over there? I mean, she's the destroyer. She's dangerous. He's going to probably have to wind up putting her down or trying to put her down or something because, of course, the whole thing is just ungodly stupid.
Well, they were chasing for Bruce Maddox for 5 episodes and then they killed him at the end of it.
Right away. The Blondie killed him. Dr. Blondie.
So what are they doing? And then they showed the scenes for the next thing. It's like, aren't they going to question her at all? And why did she kill him when she obviously had a romance with him? Oh, I have another question. So they recast Icheb. They recast Bruce Maddox. I couldn't tell, honestly. I'm like, is that the same actor or not? I mean, a lot of years have passed, but it wasn't.
No.
But both actors were available and they recast it with new actors. And it's not like these were spectacular actors. One guy screamed and the other one moaned a lot and died.
Right.
So you could have gotten the other ones. They actually on PJ's channel on Orville Nation, correct me if I'm wrong, PJ, didn't the actor, he interviewed the actor for Icheb and he said he would have done it. It wasn't even asked. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's neither here nor so I'm just throwing it out there.
Just more disrespect for canon.
More disrespect for canon, and maybe because of the 25% thing or something, that if you recast the role, you don't have to get it from the license. I have no logical explanation out of that other than it's a complete disrespect for canon. We're gonna bring back some cast members and recast other ones. Usually when you do something like this, unless the actor is completely unavailable, you make an effort to bring everybody back. This is Star Trek. Star Trek fans notice this shit. With other stuff, you can get away with it. But again, this shows the disregard to the fan. And then it makes me think of the whole 25% rule. And if that's still in effect and somehow they can save by recasting it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, it's just my speculation. That's all.
Well, I got to say in the chat, Mike W said, will Troy show boobs? And I said, no. If you want to see boobs, you have to go look in the Star Trek writer's room. That's where you'll see.
Dun, 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 dun. Doing. Bazigi. It's her name sounds like I don't know. It sounds like some rapper. She's a Bazigil. She's Bazigiling.
Jill Pops.
She looked like Troy a little bit. She did.
Oh, I thought she was for a minute. I thought, geez, Marina Sirtis like lost some weight for this. She looked so much like Troy. I thought she was gorgeous, but then I couldn't stand couldn't stand her at all. I mean, the character, the whole thing, just so stupid.
Well,
so stupid.
Everybody acts like men.
Yeah.
I mean, the men kind of act like men, and the women act like men.
Yes.
I mean, alpha.
And Picard acts like a cartoon. But it is not the secret surveillance, or I mean, his French accent was as bad as Frenchy Doomcock's French accent. Oh mon Dieu, sacre bleu. Oh, it was just terrible. That right there, I am absolutely convinced, is the absolute worst clip you will ever find of Patrick Stewart's acting. I mean, that is a low light in his career.
Oh, that was terrible.
Holy shit. And it wasn't just that line.
No,
it wasn't just that line. Then later on, when he was actually beamed down on Free Cloud, his accent was almost, I say 93% as bad.
No, that was Saturday Night Live skit acting. That's what it was. I mean, without any freaking rehearsal. And can we retire this trope for fucking ever? A woman walking up and going, "I'll take whiskey," straight up. It's like, oh my God, that's so like it's 1950. Like, that's shocking that a woman would drink whiskey straight up. And then I mean, it's like,
it's stunning and brave. And then she's gonna march straight down to the voting booth. She's gonna demand her suffrage.
She's gonna go to the voting booth and then go into STEM right afterwards. So yeah, fucking powerful, stunning, and brave. It's stupid. And did they do it twice in the episode? Maybe they did it twice. I can't remember. But listen, they even did that in The Witcher, and I
understood it. that in the original show, 7 of 9 couldn't hold her liquor at all. So it's just more canon violation.
Well, they wanted to show how she's progressed. So because it's progressing, asking like a man and becoming a vigilante and killing for revenge and drinking whiskey because she's hard. And then her randomly being there by accident. I mean,
I know it's awful, but I mean, honestly, look, if you are 7 of 9 and you are out there doing, this kind of shit, then I think honestly, it's an even worse plot point that that she would just like set aside her vengeance and let her live. You know what I mean? I mean, it shouldn't have even been set up that way in the first place. The whole thing is abominable, but it's like, well, if she's out there and she is killing people, and she's a fennel ranger, or is it a rosemary ranger, thyme ranger? I don't know. She's out there. She's gonna kill this broad, especially because they were ex-lovers or whatever. I mean, it's just, it's so fucking bad. It's painful.
Yeah, no, it was stupid. It was stupid to have that scenario. Picard let her go down with the phasers, like because he's a dumbass. And I mean, this guy was an admiral. I don't know how the fuck he made it through anything being this stupid, to be honest with you. But the worst part about it, of the whole thing, and I talked about it in my review, was it really points out that it's always been like this. And the perspective that we've had is through the Federation, and the Federation has had kind of a Pollyanna view towards things. They've been naive. They've been ignoring the real suffering that's been happening in the galaxy, while the Federation dances around in their pretty little spaceships with all these people, ignoring all the suffering of the marginalized aliens. And this is Picard having his eyes open to that again. This has always been this way. It's not just dystopian now. They're going to fuck the whole thing up. And that's what really that was the baseline that would piss me off about the whole episode.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with it. Yeah.
And Sir Patrick Stewart signed up for this. This is what he wanted to do with his character. So we get back to bringing down the patron, and I want to go back to what Doomcock said earlier. Nobody we don't want more white dudes. I don't care. Bring everybody to the table. Just don't shit on the past. That's all. I mean, it's a really simple request, but no, they don't want to stop there. They really want to shit on the past. And now that Sir Patrick Stewart has benefited from that past, made a lot of money of it, got really rich off it, he is more than willing prior to his retirement to come back and destroy it. Now that he's had his fun. Boomer. That's a boomer. That's a freaking real boomer.
No, you left me speechless there, dude. I just truth was hurled.
So I lost tons of respect. I have like zero respect for him now.
No, God, no. Look, that right there was just so pathetic, Gary. I can't even. I was stunned. It was hideous. It was hideous. He has no regard for himself. He has no regard for his fans, and he has no regard for Star Trek. And I don't understand what this has to do with Brexit. What this has to do with the political situation here. They have constructed a phony kind of a conflict. The entire base premise of Picard is completely flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Where you've got Picard going around groveling. Everybody that meets him says, "Well, you gave up. Well, if you'd have kept trying, I know, I'm terrible." What the hell is he?
He's not in the Federation. He got fired trying to help them. So how could it possibly be his fault? He doesn't represent and that's all he has to say is like, I did my best. There were no ships. There was literally nothing we could do except, for the suitcase. Maybe that's what they're mad at him for. What about the suitcases that could be? What about the Narada, that Romulan giant fucking mining ship that looked like it was the size of the planet? Did they have more than one of those?
You could have fit a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
It's all just storage, right? I guess if it's a mining thing, that it's meant to store the shit that you bring up, right? With the choppy beam,
water beetle or something. Yeah. Yeah. The thing was massive.
Yeah. You could have fit a ton of people in there. They're treating the Romulans. Look. Okay, so the planet that Lamulus is on, with the nuns and everything, where he's beaming over there in his great white hunter, imperialist costume for Halloween with his hat. It was ridiculous. It was like something out of a 30s, serial where we're going into the deepest heart of Africa now. They're going to spread civilization to the savages and everything. It was so condescending and imperialistic, but he beams down there and he's bringing gifts and everything. Why is it that this planet is so sullen and downcast and everything when, if they'd have been impacted by the Nova, they'd be dead. So, so they weren't impacted. And whatever people are there on the fucking planet, they were brought there by Picard. Like Picard went ahead and got some of them evacuated onto this planet. So why, when he goes back, are they giving him the stink eye and yelling at him and you gave up? And then how dare you condescend that we needed your help and we needed your help. It was hilarious. It's so crossways. They cannot even get the story straight. Just like Ash Tyler, for God's sakes, was he physically clock or whatever his fucking name was that his bones broken and everything put in there, while he was conscious for weeks and weeks, I would assume. They changed every single thing about him, broke him, his skin, his eyes, every fucking thing got changed. Okay. Or was it that they had Ash Tyler and they went ahead and implanted his thought processes onto Ash Tyler's brain, in which case, why are his legs broken? They cannot make up their minds on their own story. And it's the same thing here. They can't. It's like, are the Romulans pissed off because Picard assumed that they needed help, that they were a third world nation, empire, that only the Great White Hope could come and take them off of the planet because they're like practically Vietnamese boat people? Or were they helpless and did they actually need the help? They can't even make up their minds on that. This is nonsensical drivel for idiots. So
Star Trek Discovery had a sleeper agent over the 2 seasons and a Section 31 plot. And it looks like Star Trek Picard is going to, I'm still not counting Section 31 out of this. We got 5 episodes. I'm holding out for those kids. Kurtzman, I know you can do it, buddy. You can bring in Section 31 for like the 18th time in a row. And there's possibly a sleeper agent. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it's the same shit.
But there's no way these people could have ripped off anything from Anas Abdeen. Not a chance.
Oh, heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. But look, they even ripped themselves off. Kurtzman is just a one-trick pony. In the same way that Ash Tyler was writhing without any kind of anesthetic on the table as they replaced every single thing in his whole body. They did the same shit with Icheb here, yanking his eye out without anesthetic, because that's edgy and stunning and brave.
It's so hard. But Doomcock, they've always done that in Star Trek. Don't forget Conspiracy, which we talked about earlier. It's like, no. Again, I'll say it again. That was in the first season. It was the 25th episode. It was also surrounded by a bunch of positive, they were trying to find their legs in that first season. But if you put all the gory scenes from TNG in context, it's surrounded by a bunch of a lot of inspirational stories, a lot of fun stories, a lot of some scary stuff, some fun, thrilling adventure. So when they do the gory thing, which was schlocky 80s gore, which was great, it had impact. It has actual impact. All this is murder Trek. It's been murder Trek. So they're just killing people. And why are you farming Borg parts? Okay, they assimilate. Their whole job is to assimilate everything. So even if they're disconnected from the collective, you would think that they would operate independently. I know they've showed where people can be separated, but you think there'd be something where you wouldn't want to steal Borg technology. Like you wouldn't want to even run the risk of it possibly reconnecting with the collective then taking over so it's like, oh, I need to put this Borg chip into my phaser or whatever they want to do. And then it just assimilates everything through, I don't know, a communicator. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Well, it's very dumb. And also, look, this is something that really bothered me a lot. So, Picard is in his little recreation of his living room on the holodeck on Rio's ship, and 7 of 9 comes in talking all tough and then says bourbon, and so he goes to his table and he pours her bourbon. So think about that, dude. Think about that. So if the bourbon is part of the hologram, it's not going to have any taste. You can't drink it. Okay. I mean, it's not gonna be like it has to be replicated.
I didn't even think about that.
It had to be replicated. So Picard had to have actually replicated an array of booze for his hologram table and brought it in and have it sitting there. I'd say that's kind of a drinking problem on a mission, that he would prioritize actually replicating a whole bar, because he said, do you want, I forget what it was, and she said bourbon. He go, I've got that. I've definitely got that. I've got Tranya. I've got rubbing alcohol. I've got nitrate fortified wine. I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
I've got some ecstasy if you want to get freaky.
I didn't know you like to get wet. But the thing is, it's really dumb. And why the fuck, again, would Picard pick the Vineyard living room for his comfort place
that he never felt at home in?
Exactly. Why would he then go ahead and do that? Why wouldn't he make it his ready room on the Enterprise? Why wouldn't he make it the bridge of the Enterprise?
Which he missed. He didn't realize he missed it. I never felt home here. Why would you leave behind
why would they do that?
And Laris? Why would you leave behind Laris? Yep. Like, she's the most pleasing thing to look at in this entire show.
She is. But I tell you, you
Not a
know
bit of a
why?
thing
I'll
for
tell you
Lauren.
why. I'll tell you why. Because they had the set, and they didn't want to spend any money on any other set, and so that's why.
Ding, ding,
That's
ding.
it. That's the only reason why. So it's an accommodation to budget rather than character. It's a fraud and it's stupid.
It makes no sense. But
Nope.
I mean, it's just one of the many things that doesn't. And then ripping off Altered Carbon with the little commercials and stuff, and the graphics were awful. They were embarrassing. That was a Star Trek episode. That was as bad as the freaking Tribble cereal to me, and that commercial and everything, which was,
boy, that's tough because that really is awful. I mean, that's one of the lowlights of all time. But I gotta say, the reptile, the reptoid, it didn't look like a reptile at all. That was just one of the laziest pieces of shit makeup. I mean, good God, it didn't look at all. It was so wrong. It's just a bald guy with bad skin.
Yeah,
that was it. That's what you've got. Seriously,
the makeup is better than the Orville, and the Orville tries to look like 90s Star Trek. That's their whole thing. Their aesthetic is to look a little older, and the makeup is better, far superior.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Just be ready. God, I wish I could tell you guys, but Orville season 3 is going to make you laugh. There's going to be, but not in the ways like it's not going to be ha ha ha. They're taking it very seriously. It's going to kick a lot of ass, but you're just going to really like it. PJ, get really excited, dude. You're going to.
I'm extremely excited. I cannot wait.
Be happy.
I cannot wait.
Hail Nerdrotic and Doomcock. After watching Star Trek Picard, I have realized that Q was right about humanity. Says Sam Whiskey for $4.99. Yeah, I'm all aboard on Q. Maybe he went ahead and saw Star Trek Picard, and we're waiting for you, buddy. Anytime. That's why he's here. He's always in judgment over us. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Psycho Dwarf 9. Gentlemen, I need the Pulp Fiction graphic of you two on a shirt, please. We got to talk about that. I gotta. I'm sorry. The name of the artist has escaped my brain. Artist, please contact me or Doomcock, so we can discuss this. A lot of people have asked, but I want to talk to the artist and, of course, Doomcock first before we forge ahead on that. But I definitely want the artist to get the fair share because they did. I mean, like, brilliant work. And so, artist, please contact me or Doomcock. Basil, the Pumpkin Seagull for $5 Canadian. Last time Basil the Seagull arrived so spectacularly, the ancients thought Halley's Comet was going to hit the Earth as Wrath of the Angry Haves. The Wrath of the Angry Haves. You give the strangest super chat, Basil. Haves. You and Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews really are the kings of super chat. Thank you, Basil.
And it was June Wong who was the artist.
Thank you. I am so sorry. I did a lot of drugs in the 80s. I'm terrible. I
know I'm bad too. It took me a minute.
Yeah. So thank you. And we will contact. Brilliant work, by the way. That I love that so much. But yeah, we'll let you know, Psycho Dwarf, for sure. And thank you for your interest, and thank you for your support, everybody. We appreciate you. Sam Whiskey for $4.99. If 7 people survived, does that make the 7th person 7 of 7 and a lesbian? LOL. Oh, from Doctor Who. Yes, there were 7 of 7. And chances are, if it was Doctor Who, they were a lesbian, and they would have probably introduced themselves as a lesbian before they gave you their name, because famously, in the New Year's special Resolution, a police officer introduced himself as gay before he gave his name.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
and also, okay, here's a little problem I had with tonight's episode. So there's 7 humans left. There's only 7 left. Okay, well, why didn't she go back in time to when there was more left, so she could have actually helped some people?
She needs, see, that's the point where you go, this is a fixed point in time. I can't change anything about, I mean, that's what it's there for. But they don't even bring that crap up. They don't bring names up. They don't bring any of that stuff up because Chibnall isn't a good writer. We'll never know if the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker could have been good. I don't think so. She's totally wrong for the role.
No, she's completely wrong.
When she's in action, listen, they had a big action episode that she wasn't in. I think that said everything. She was barely in the episode. And that was the most action we have ever seen from the Chibnall era. And she wasn't in the episode. So that tells you all you need to know. But I think anything can be better with a better writer. And it's clear that they've signed up. It's a suicide mission. Doesn't Romul Legolas sign up? He only commits his sword to lost causes. Isn't that what they said in the episode?
Yeah. So, well, here's another question I have. So if you only pledge your sword in this order to lost causes, how does the order ever gain any kind of reputation? Because they always fail. Either they always fail because they dedicated their sword to a lost cause, or they were wrong, in which case they're idiots, that it wasn't a lost cause at all. So either way, it just sucks. It's so bad.
The only reason they created this order is so they could call him Sister Boy. Did you catch that? Sister Boy, come over here. Like every chance they get,
all they wanted.
They try to beta males. That's what this whole thing is. Every time there's a person in power, they keep going. They're writing women with complexity. They're jerks in this. They're all women in power, acting like men. And again, once in a while is fine, in a vacuum and fine. But this is Kurtzman Trek. They do things for a reason, not through, not for narrative, not organically, and not because they're talented. They're like, we have a situation here. We got to make sure the woman's in charge. Okay. If you approach everything like that, it's impossible to be creative. But since it's impossible for them to be creative, I understand it in a very strange way. Stellar Heather is a member at the protomolecule level. Welcome, Stellar. Welcome. Okay, and I'm keeping an eye on the time. Torlida for $1.99. Pee pee poo poo Doctor Who is doo doo.
That's pretty much the review right there. That's all it
is. That reminds me of Dana Schwartz was complaining that she was getting for her tweets, and I did a video and other people did videos. By the way, if anybody threatened her, you're a jerk. Don't do that. Okay, don't call her out for her appearance. Do not threaten her. Attack her arguments that are horrible. That's all you need to do. Just attack her arguments. The rest does it. It writes itself. But please don't. But apparently, she was claiming she was getting all these threats, and I guess on the quartering said one of the emails. Correct me if I'm wrong. Chat was pee pee poo poo. Was from peepee@poopoo.com. One of the emails was from peepee@poopoo.com. I laughed for like 5 minutes straight. I don't know. I'm still 12 years old, but I want to sign up. I want an email from poopoo.com. Nerdrotic@poopoo.com. Nettled Nerds for $10. Hail Lords, did you see the newest comic of Captain Marvel is destroying the Avengers and taking all of their powers for herself? So sad. R.I.P. Stan Lee. Yes, I did see that, Nettled Nerds.
A comic?
Did you see that? Yeah, it's a comic book where she has all the Avengers powers.
Fuck you.
I laughed.
Fuck you. Nah, fuck you. Fuck you. There's just not enough fuck yous in the world.
Nope.
For those scumbags. I'm just so over it. I'm just so over all of this shit. Go down in flames. Just go down in flames. You keep on it, and keep on it. Keep losing your audience. Keep losing billions of dollars. And it'll just get worse and worse and worse. And I will just laugh. I'm delighted. Please do some more. Please.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, absolutely. I'm going to pull this picture.
It makes me sick. I just go ahead. Just go for it. Keep it up. CBS, go for it.
Yep.
You've got nothing left anyway. Why not? Go ahead. Dump another $1 billion into this trash heap of a show that you've got. This fucking franchise that used to be Star Trek. It's a joke now. Have at it. Listen. Yeah. Oh, you're upsetting a couple of YouTubers. Is it really worth it? I guess so. Well, go for it, man. Go for it. Have fun. We're having fun. We're having a great time. Fuck you. Fuck you. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Do your worst, man. We already know it's dead. We already know it's dead. You can't hurt us anymore. It doesn't matter. All we're doing is watching you spiral down in a death spiral like a shark. that's going down to the bottom of the sea, like trailing blood, because it's dead. It got hit by the propeller. Quint got it. It got blown up by Brody, whatever the case is. It's going down. And you know what? Fuck you. Just, I'm sorry, man. What else can you say? I love it. I love it. Keep at it. Keep it up, Marvel. Let's go ahead. Hey, go ahead and have Captain Marvel swing by and steal the Fantastic Four's power too. Go for it. Go for it. Do a crossover with Superman on DC, Superman and Captain Marvel, where she steals his power. Show her graphically shoving it up her ass. That's what I would like. Go ahead and make Superman's power in suppository form for the bitch. Go for it. Cheers. Have fun. Fuck you. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm just ranting. There's nothing else I can say. So fuck you.
No,
fuck.
That's what they're doing, man. They're being fucking idiots, and we're gonna show you what this time we'll catch on with the audience. We'll do the same shit over and over again, and we'll get them back. We're gonna get those 10 million fucking viewers back from the first episode that you'll never fucking see again in Doctor Who for the rest of time, unless David Tennant comes back, which I fucking guarantee is gonna happen. You heard it here. It's happening. Doomcock's rumor is going to come through. They're going to bring back David Tennant so fucking Jodie Whittaker can chastise him. Patriarchy, man. Here's that picture for the comic I was talking about. This is from Zach's video, from your boy Zach. He did a video on this. He had this image. So this was from Comics Pro. And I cut off the bottom part. On the bottom, it says, yes. So it says print comics are here to stay. In 2019, there were 40 more stores that opened over those that closed. Now, that's very strange language. I don't know if why don't you just say 40 stores opened? Why did you say 40 stores opened? 40 more stores opened over those that closed. That means stores still closed. Some people started some stores. That means you started diamond accounts. That could be an online store, or it could be a collector who started an account. It could be anything. Or there could be 40 new comic stores. Good luck. Are they selling new comics? I bet you not all the comic stores are selling new fucking comics. But the thing I really wanted to point out was the art on this thing. What the hell is that shit? What the fuck is that? What are they doing?
They're making I don't know. Is it like a sign to banish the patriarchy or something? I don't know.
No,
it's the worst art I've ever seen.
Do you want to see the best representation of what's going on in the comic book industry right now? It's this fucking picture right here. This picture. Now, I don't know if Zach made this picture. I don't know where it came from, but that art just says it all. That's considered passable comic book art right now.
Are you serious?
And I'm sorry. I can do that with my left hand. You need to be the best of the best of the best of the best to be working in comics. Of course, they can't afford that, so this is what they can afford right now. And I am so happy I am not selling comics right now. I would be so unhappy selling. I wouldn't sell this shit. I wouldn't buy this shit. I wouldn't put this shit on my customers. I liked them too much. And fuck.
I don't know what they're doing, but a lot of times before I gave up comics, around the time when I finally just said, well, I'm just going to buy, graphic novel collections and stuff like that. I buy them at half price or something. But, you'd pick up a cover that really looked good. And you'd open the art inside, and it's this very simplified, crude, not even anime level. It's kind of based on, you know what I mean? Like this, it looks like a kid's comic. It looks like the kind of shit that you see. Well, I can't even compare it. I can't even say Casper, because Casper had better art. Little Lulu had better art than this. It really is crude and generic and boring. It's very much like I can't even. It is not. This is superhero shit we're talking about, and it's it's like drawn.
It's Tumblr art. It says Rob. It says Tumblr on the bottom.
That's what it is.
It says lavish Tumblr. It is straight up fucking Tumblr art. And by the way, I wanted to talk to. There's people out there going, Birds of Prey got a sequel. They announced the possibility of a sequel. I wouldn't hold my breath if it happens. And if it does, again, fucking go for it.
Go for it,
please. Make another sequel that will make less money. Go ahead. It wasn't a success. It's a memory. It's a piece of crap. Now, if you put Margot Robbie back in the Daisy Dukes, okay, maybe, and you get a decent director who doesn't need to ask for help. I love that we brought in an Asian female director who had to ask for help from the John Wick fight coordinator to coordinate the fight scenes, but we still brought in a director. It's like, come on.
Yeah, and somebody asked, am I insulting anime? No, listen to what I said. I said that anime art is very simplified. It's stylized. And they're not aspiring to that level of detail and the intelligence of anime. What they are doing is just doing art that doesn't have a lot of detail in it. It's like highly, highly cartoony. You know, it's not like Walter Simonson, let's say, you know, or George Perez.
It's manga.
Which is very representational. I mean, it's like manga, but in the crudest way. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bastardized, cheap ass American version of it, and it looks terrible. Exactly. And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
I don't want to embarrass any artists. There's certain artists where I saw their name on a book, I just automatically knew to lower the orders. For a while,
no reason to apologize, Cesario JPN. I just wanted to explain.
Yeah,
because I did not mean to. I love anime.
No,
I'm watching Akame ga Kill now. I'm almost done with it, and I love Miyazaki. A lot of anime.
Anime is the future of this shit. American comic books are dying, and a lot of it is money. Quite frankly, the artists are still out there. There's still the desire, but the publishers it's just like the music industry. They fucking strangled the industry for so long and fucked with the retailers and fucked with the fans that they'll never be able to reestablish that relationship of trust ever again. So now they're talking about there might be a Marvel and DC crossover someday. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? That's not going to fix shit. That's an event. Are you fucking kidding me? A fucking Marvel and DC crossover. Suck a dick on that. It's fucking 10 years too late. Nobody gives a shit. What's it going to be? 5G plus is Marvel now? Oh, great. We're going to have Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel meet Wonder Woman and Batgirl. Yay. Outstanding. No.
That'd be perfect.
What comic books need is they need the reverse Watchmen. They need something to bring people back that kind of rebuilds them again. They've been deconstructed beyond repair.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're just at gimmicks. You're like, well, we need to race swap Batman again, or listen, they've done all this stuff. As a matter of fact, Father Christopher Miller. Hail Father Christopher Miller showed me something in the Patreon I completely brain farted on, but you're gonna love this.
Oh God.
Yes. It was a Jimmy Olsen comic. And this
like a modern one?
It was a Jimmy Olsen comic. Let's see if I can find it. And if they don't bury it.
Is Jimmy Olsen a proud black male?
No. Hang on a second. Jimmy Olsen.
Because God knows they're basically casting every single ginger out of existence. They're replacing them with people of color, and really they don't like gingers very much.
They don't. Did they cover? Oh, they covered all the good stuff up. That sucks. Father Christopher Miller showed me here. We don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to show this right now. I'm sure some of you out there know what I'm talking about. I found an easier way to show images too, or maybe not.
No,
hang on just a second.
But I mean, there's a lot of great anime out there.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, Akira is fantastic. Running Man in Neo Tokyo. I love that. That's one of my favorite animations of all time, man. I mean, they do it very intelligently. Oh, here we go.
So Lois Lane gets turned into a black woman for 24 hours.
Groovy.
Yep. All the best.
And why was this?
To know, so she could so she knew what it was like to be in her skin. Literally, Superman did that to her. Now, what I remember this from is there used to be a site called, I've talked about it before, Super Dickery. Superman is a dick.
Right. Oh, that is hilarious.
One of the best websites ever.
Oh, it was good. It was so funny.
And it shows every time Superman was a dick like this, I'll turn you black, Lois. Just so you know. I mean, again, all the best intentions in the world. Sign of the times, folks. This was 15 cents. So this was the late 60s. And yeah.
Boy, it's like a pilot for the 21st century.
It really is.
It's a pilot episode for the 21st century. That's basically what it is.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's comic books. Well, I mean, yeah, you wonder why it even made it this long, to be honest with you. All right. Thank you, Trollita, for the pee-pee poo-poo Doctor Who is doo-doo. Trollita. That made me laugh. Matt, Hail Lords. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Nettle the Nerds. Matt G, and you got us on that rant again. Yes, Captain Marvel is the bestest ever, along with Mikey Spock and Ray and everybody else. Found this episode to be the most tolerable considering. Matt G, which for Doctor Who? Well, yeah, because the Doctor was barely in it. There was no acting. There was no story. There was just exposition. And tell me, Matt, and I totally agree with you. And Doomcock asked me this question, and I don't have an answer for it. Why did the Cyber Zealot start torturing other Cybermen?
Yeah, what was the point?
And
I don't get it.
Yeah, if you caught it in the chat, let me know, because like I honestly might have missed it or something. But he's like torturing another Cyberman. Was it just so they could say he's the Cyberman who makes other Cybermen scream? Okay, why was he making them scream? Now, why? Matthew Anderson for $5. Hail, holy inquisitors of fandom. The more I look at modern Star Wars and Star Trek, it makes me want to delve deeper into the old EU and older shows. Yeah, that's all that's going to be left forever.
Yeah,
I don't expect it ever to be like it was before. That's not what I expect. I expect it to not be bad and divisive. Now, if it's just bad, garden variety bad, like honestly, this episode of Doctor Who was garden variety bad. It didn't have identity politics or anything in it, but it's setting up next week's episode, which is going to flip it on its ass. And again, just to remind you, my rumor was the Doctor was originally female. And right. And that's by God. That's what they did.
Mm-hmm. That's what they did. And God knows what they're going to do next time.
Oh, they're not done. This is all a setup for next season, which, could lead to a whole other opening up another can of worms. Hey, Adam Carlson for $2 says, thanks for being awesome. Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. Thank you for thinking we're awesome, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you for being awesome. Matthew Anderson for $5. I'd love for the old Star Wars EU to be brought back. I would as well, as a parallel canon, but I fear modern Lucasfilm will find some way of tarnishing that as well. That would be a great olive branch to the fandom. Just say, hey, okay, it counts again. It's parallel or it's alternate. I even call it alternate. Just make it count in some way. And reprint all the freaking books and just make money. But they don't think that far ahead. See, the thing is, Matthew, you care more about Star Wars legacy than Star Wars does. They only care in their legacy in terms of, or Disney, in terms of dollars, which is, I guess, understandable. But you'd think you deal in art, that somebody in the building actually has creative talent. And Michael Eisner warned us all with Iger. He said the guy's not a creative person, he's a business person,
right?
And that's unfortunately, I was watching some documentary, I don't know this to be true, but they called Michael Eisner the last creative executive. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. I know there's Toby Emmerich out there, but he's not creative. No, he's more of a Kurtzman type than anything else. That's all I can say on that. You can insinuate away from that. Basil, the Pump and Seagull for 5 Canadian pesos. DC may not release Have, but he will release the Apple Seed. He will release the Apple Seed.
You got to release the Apple Seed. I'm Shawnee Appleseed.
Oh, I got to bring down my Connery next time. I have the Connery of Thunder. So I have a Sean Connery action figure dressed in a Captain Action Thor costume. My favorite action figure. I'm the God of Thunder. God damn it.
Oh, that's great.
Dreary Nitpicker for $4.99. It's okay if you're late. I had to poop. It was a dreary of a time, and I hate to be a nitpicker when you're running late. Love the show.
Hail Drury Nitpicker.
Hail Drury.
Great guy.
A neurotic is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. Noisy early. Cracklin for $1.99. Do the Daleks know how to say emasculate? Emasculate. Yes, actually they do, Cracklin. I think point. Yeah. Captain Spire for $2. Gary, checking to see if you got the card. Be well. Yes, didn't I say that in the last episode? Yes, Captain, I got the card. I haven't read the email yet though, but I will check. I will let you know on Toxic Mailbag. Thank you so much, Captain Spire, and you're awesome. Captain Spire freaking rocks. Drury Nitpicker for $9.99. In all seriousness, I feel 5 pounds lighter. Well, thank you. Hail Gary and DC. Gary, there's no join button for me to press. You must be watching on an Apple device. Drury Nitpicker there, the join button doesn't show up on Apple devices. I don't know why. DC, I joined your channel, and now finally I'm afraid of commitment. What can I say? Hail. Unless they took it away recently. I'm going to take a look now, but no, it's there. Yeah, it's right there, bud. So you must be watching on an Apple device. For some reason, it doesn't show up on all Apple devices, Drury, but it is most there. I've got 3 levels. I do a Saturday membership stream every Saturday. Sometimes you guys get videos early. You get exclusive live streams, and then I don't think anybody's signed up at the level, but if you sign up at the upper level, you get a shout out for whatever you want. You got to message me what you want though. MT Harrison for $5. Have you guys seen the DS9 doc, What We Left Behind? I love Ira Bear and Ron Moore, but their idea for a potential DS9 season 8 opener was terrible. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen it. I heard it's great. I wouldn't be surprised. I think DS9 went as far as it could go, personally, but and I think DS9 exists great on its own. But I think DS9 might have opened the door for Kurtzman. Listen, the reason Kurtzman's writing dark, I mean, many have said this. I'm not the first to say this at all, because it's easier. It's much easier to go dark.
Oh yeah,
it
takes talent to actually write something, elevating or inspiring.
Yeah. We get hard on Stephen Moffat. But and he deserves it. But again, singular stuff he's great at. He did the Night of the Doctor. Okay, it's Paul McGann returned for basically a webisode, and it's some of the best Doctor Who I've ever seen. And he characterizes a companion in 3 minutes, and she has an arc. I mean, she straight up goes through an arc in like 3 or 4 minutes.
Wow! And
it's just so they could have the regeneration, so he regenerates into the War Doctor. And it's freaking great. And by the way, Paul McGann if he came back and was the Doctor right now, it would be saved. It'd be saved, but they won't do it.
No,
he's excellent in Big Finish though. Absolutely excellent. Big Finish adventures are great. They can't be happy with what's going on. They really can't, especially messing with canon. The people at Big Finish take Doctor Who like the most serious. They take it more seriously than the people who run the fucking show, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way it's not, because that's going to be our Doctor Who from now on, pretty much. And I'm kind of okay with it. Sean E for $5. DVD Gary, more likely Kathleen Kennedy banned from or basically her input being mostly ignored and her creative input entirely over unwelcome on the set. Sean, yeah, I agree with that.
I was told banned, so that's what I reported.
Yeah, and that's what you were told. And you reported on a video, because that's what we do. We tell stories. We talk about rumors. We report news. We're not reinventing the wheel. We just do it in our own way. And some of you like it and some of you don't. 99.9% of the criticism that comes our way on this platform from other content creators is envy. Envy's like, you're not gonna listen. Pro tip on life. Envy gets you nowhere. And listen, I had it too at one time. I did too, and I lost that shit. And I am so much happier. You root for people. You root for success. It's okay to criticize big corporations and big, filthy, rich creators who come in and just want to fuck with shit to do it for agenda, or they're trying to shape minds or make it into a political platform. But you go after fans, and because their channel grew. I mean, that could happen to you too. That could happen to anybody creating content. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Like I said, a little over a year ago, I had just a couple thousand subscribers, and it took me forever to get there, like 4 years to get there. But I wouldn't have gotten there if I started whinging about how other YouTubers do their business. Did I like everything I saw? No. You know what I did? I didn't watch it. I just didn't watch it. I mean, let them do what they want. For one, you especially with rumors, you never really know unless you're a person directly involved. Kathleen Kennedy knows, Jon Favreau knows, but nobody else does. Not here on YouTube. We don't know either way. So, and we pass on information. We have conversation. If Doomcock was, if he owned a used bookstore and he was talking about Star Wars and he heard this rumor, Doomcock would have probably gone, "Hey, I heard this crazy rumor. Kathleen Kennedy's banned from the set." I would have talked about it in my comic shop for sure.
Yeah.
It's no different. That's what this is. If you're checking yourself on that stuff, I mean, that's part of another pro tip is like, find your voice. Don't check yourself. Say what you want. I mean, listen, we're going to screw up sometimes and there'll be consequences, and you guys keep us honest. So, but other content creators, don't worry about it so much. Nicholas Horton for £5. Hail all. After next week's finale, I predict yourself and DC will release another Destroying Canon video. That is, I think you're right. I am prepared unless they don't do it. If they don't do it, I'll release a video going, shoo.
Yeah, right.
But they're going to do it. No, that's a certainty. Nicholas Horton, the sun is going to rise and set, and Chris Chibnall will destroy Doctor Who canon. Take it to the fucking bank. Thank you, Nicholas and Shawnee. Cesario, you got a few more minutes, bud?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cesario JPN for $5. Will Wheaton, a page shill, is being beaten by Gary, a bearded upstart in views on YouTube Picard reviews. What a clown world we live in nowadays. I know, right? My show to put on costs about, I'll be generous, maybe like $3. Maybe $3. If I average out all my costs across all my videos and my bills and everything, it probably costs $3. Maybe if I buy a coffee, okay, we'll say $6. We'll double the budget because I bought a cup of coffee before the live stream. I'm guessing his show doesn't cost $6. Admiral OF Doom for $5. Given the choice of Will Wheaton or ripping my eyeballs out through my ass, I am leaning heavily toward the long, messy reach. Just an observation. Oh my God. Just an observation.
Yeah.
I got to say it like that. I'm sorry. Bear Business One for $20. Thank you, Bear Business One. Wait. You mean this was not the week everything turned around? This was not the week where Star Trek, Doctor Who, Batwoman, Harley Quinn reverted to being entertaining? Well, maybe next week I will go back to crying now.
Yeah, this wasn't it. I'm sorry, man. It didn't happen. Nostradamus was wrong. You got it wrong.
Yeah. Quatrain 69. Birds of prey will be entertaining. Locusts will fly through Africa.
Yes.
And Star Trek Picard will be good. There is locusts in Africa right now. There's a big biblical thing going on right now.
Oh God. There's in Hollywood named Secret Hideout and Bad Robot, but
oh, that's true. That's true. And they're starving Hollywood of talent, which is, I mean, it's a desert of talent. We need proper representation in Hollywood, Dubcock. We need people of talent. We need POTs.
That would be nice. That's something that is really underrepresented in Hollywood.
Absolutely. POTs. Absolutely. We have 1,100 likes, Doomcock. That's amazing. Thank you, everybody.
Fantastic.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you to the Modrotics. You're fantastic, beautiful people. Oh, Orville Nation for $2 to the greatest dynamic duo on YouTube with wow. Thank you, Orville Nation.
Thank you.
Orville Nation's been killing it on his channel. Please subscribe to Orville Nation. He's been interviewing like real actors and like interesting, good people. He had Paul Jacobs, one of the great comic book writers, on, and he had Icheb on. Go watch that video. Subscribe to Orville Nation today. And while we're at it, I need to do my plug for the Orville. There's a great show you can watch instead of Star Trek Picard, Doomcock. It's called the Orville.
That's true.
Yes, it's available on Hulu. 2 seasons. I'm sure it's like $10 or something like that. And you can watch great episodes like About a Girl, Identity, parts 1 and 2. And it is better than Star Trek Picard. Watch the Orville. This is brought to you by nobody. I actually did that on my own. Hail Seth MacFarlane. I open up all my Star Trek Picard reviews doing that. I start out by plugging the Orville. Because I want to give you choices. Life is full of choices. There's the Expanse, there's the Orville. You don't need Star Trek Picard. You don't need to waste your money. You don't need to see your favorite character apologize and get yelled at and have people murdered around him constantly.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Star Trek has always been this way, and I'm just an idiot. So I'm always willing to consider, to be honest with you. North American Hamrammer for $2. If they Jake Neo, it'll be a Neo at a Geo coined. If they Jake Neo, it'll be a Neo to a Geo. Oh, you mean in Matrix? Okay. Trying to follow you, North American Hamrammer. So you think they might like Jake Neo and it'll be a Neo to a Geo coined? Well, then you've got it. It's coined. Yeah, they'll probably take Neo and he'll be following around Trinity, who will be the chosen one.
Right. That's what the kitchen woman said. It's not you, baby. It's her. It's her.
It's her. Yeah. Big Red Bullfrog for £5. It'll take CGI Call of the Wild over Bree Birds STB. I'll take CGI Call of the Wild over Bree Birds STD ST Puke Hard Star Wars, even The Witcher. Oh, wow, crazy talk there. At least the Call of the Wild stuck to the script. Yell on Dick. Yeah. I won't see it. I have no desire to see that movie, but Jeremy said he kind of liked it, and Big Red Bullfrog said he kind of liked it. So there you go.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know, man. It looks so CGI and phony to me in the commercials that I don't know. It seems like Call of the Wild should be about nature, not about 3D rendering. What do I know?
Remember when Harrison Ford would be in a movie and it would make a lot of money?
Yeah. Even
when it's like a crappy Roman Polanski film. Which I didn't like, but a lot of people did. But like he would be, it was for when Harrison Ford was in a movie, it was automatic gold. For a little while there. It was a long time ago.
Yep.
Now he's second place to Sonic the Hedgehog. Did you see that article? I didn't know who it was from. I saw it in a video that it's time for Sonic to be gay or something like that. And it's like, people,
oh, for God's sake,
does he even have a John? Sonic doesn't even have a dick. He's two-dimensional cartoon that runs fast. No, isn't he? And like, isn't he, I don't know nothing. I know nothing about Sonic. Isn't he a kid?
I don't think it's ever really explicated, but you know what? Sex doesn't really figure into a cartoon about a running hedgehog through a maze of speed obstacles. I mean, it just, it's just not there. He never stops to like hump on a porcupine or something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he never does. So it's just so stupid. It's just so fucking. So how would I mean? I can't even joke about it because it would be so ridiculous. I mean, I can't even I can't even make jokes about how would you know that Sonic was gay? I mean, would he stop and coordinate somebody's outfit with their shoes, and then run on? I mean, I don't know what would happen. How would they know other than like going into like a gay bar and dancing and then going home and having, intercourse and then and now to resume the race, kids. I mean, how would it figure exactly?
The Just Some Guy came out with a video. I totally agree with them. They're damaging the movement by doing this stuff. Okay.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely. They're making people resentful, and it's with the announcements. Okay. It's not with the inclusion. I'm separating these two things. If you put two gay men in a movie and they want to make out at some point in it, then put it in the movie, write a story, make me care or not care about it or whatever. I like movie kisses do nothing for me. Straight gay. I honestly, it's just like, I got to buy into it. And I generally don't watch that kind of movie. But if it happens, it's great. But to come out and announce it like Marvel just did, you know how fucking backwards Marvel was ahead of the game. They are the they are the only thing keeping fucking theaters alive right now besides Fast and the Furious. And they come out like it's 1995 and go, there's going to be a man-on-man kiss in Eternals. Like, again, if it was 1995, that might be something. Coming out and you're behind on announcing it, and coming out and announcing it in 2020 is embarrassing. Yeah. It's embarrassing. And it just pisses people off at this point. So it's like, that's your priority now, Marvel. Okay. All right.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. In the meantime, look at the shitty art in your books. Look at the, dwindling readership. Figure it out. Okay? Figure it out.
You got Tumblr artists writing about food and fucking Tumblr and sitting around tables and talking. You know what's my biggest problem with CW? It's standing in halls and talking about their fucking feelings all the time. That's what that's a CW show. Okay? So Marvel is now sitting around tables and talking about their feelings. I don't care about Captain America's feelings. Or Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers doesn't have any feelings. She's just this omnipotent being that sucks the life out of everything she's around.
Yes.
And if they turned her into a villain, that would be the only logical thing that I would like. But yeah. God damn it. What are your favorite Romulans? The Irish, the Black, the Palladians? Oh, thoughts, gentlemen. Oh, definitely the Irish Immortal Coil one for $5. Thank you. What's your favorite Romulans?
For sure.
Laris. Oh,
she's hot.
She is my all-time favorite Romulan. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see her in the Romulan commander's outfit. The little mini skirt with the boots. God. Then I'd watch.
I'm gonna have
Come on, CBS. What are you doing?
I'm gonna have Mrs. Nerdrotic starting wearing Romulan ears. I'm gonna ask her she'll start wearing Romulan ears. She'll do that for me. Drury nitpick. I wanted her to dye her skin green because I have a thing for green women. I do. I don't know if I've ever talked. I've talked about it before, but I mean, I got a major thing for green women. So I'll take the Romulan ears thing. It's a weird fetish, but I'll roll with it. And I'm in San Francisco, and I am like practically the most normal thing here, and I am not normal. Drury nitpicker for $4.99. Gary in DC. I never got to ask you. Do you like busts I made for you guys? I hope you enjoy them. Exozone, LOTR, and Harvey inspired. LOL. Yes. Drury, did you they got posted on Instagram. Did you see? Did you follow me on Instagram?
Huh?
He did a bust. He did these alien busts, an alien head, right? And on this like rocket ship.
Oh yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are freaking cool as hell. They are in here. I'm supposed to plug that every Sunday, and I get in trouble with Mrs. Nerdrotic. I need to plug my Instagram because we give away stuff once in a while. So it's instagram.com/nerdrotic. Here's the link right here. And I thought she posted it. Maybe she posted it or not. You know what? Jury nitpicker, they're on display right under my TV in my living room.
Yes.
So I'll make sure they get a picture and you see it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So here you go. That is my Instagram. Please follow us on Instagram. Because that's where the toxic mailbag stuff goes up and announcements. And it's another way to notify you for videos because they won't hear at YouTube. Thank you, Jury Nitpicker. Again, they're freaking awesome. They're awesome. Justin Gould for $10. I asked you before. I don't know if I got an answer. If Doctor Who somehow survives the Jodie years, if I missed it, I'm sorry. Who do you think would play a great Doctor provided the show gets better writers? I actually think Sasha, who's playing the Master right now, would be a good Doctor. Would be an excellent Doctor.
He probably, I don't know, he probably would have been. Although seeing him pop out there, I was just like rolled my eyes so hard that I fell backwards on my couch. It was like, oh, okay. So now we've got the Master again going, ha ha. So get ready for pain. It's like we've already been feeling pain all season long, pal. We're all pained out, asshole. It's just not nothing you do is going to surprise us anymore. It just stinks. The whole thing just stinks.
Yep. Well, the Doctor's not going to be white. So, and I picked a Doctor right before Jodie I did a top 10 Doctors thing on the channel. I can't pronounce his name, but the guy who was in 12 Years a Slave, he was the bad guy in Serenity. I thought he'd be a great Doctor. Just pick somebody you like that's not white because it won't be white. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't need to be. I don't care. And I think if they got Jamie Matheson to run the show, it really wouldn't matter who the Doctor was because he would write. He wrote the two very best Capaldi episodes. So I think he would do a good job, but I don't think anybody who wants to write Doctor Who would write for it right now. I think the BBC is like a nightmare to work for. Plus, they don't have any money anymore. Right. Even now. They need to shed money now, even though they're still getting the license. Now, apparently, they're still going to get the license fee for a long time, but they're decriminalizing it in 2 years.
Well, good.
Which is, I mean, the fact that it's criminal that it's criminal.
Yes, of course. Of course it is. That's terrible.
Dragon Volder X for $2. No writer's strike. I am to work. Okay. No writer's strike. I am to work. Here's what I just had the Deadline article up. Here it is right there. I'll bring that up real quick. Yeah, it's coming, folks. It's absolutely coming.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And like I said, all of these shows, really, Doctor Who and, Star Trek, they're immune to this. They don't have any writers. So, yeah, they're not worried.
Yeah, they're not worried about a damn thing.
Same level of suck service as they ever had. Well, uninterrupted, folks, uninterrupted.
So it comes in May, right? And Netflix is immune. So we will still get The Witcher. And any kind of Netflix show. So Stranger Things will still happen. They can sign separate deals that the studios cannot. Now, the question I ask is, how does this affect Star Trek? Could Star Trek be saved by a strike? I don't know the answer to this question at all. I'm just asking it because, like, whatever's in the can, they can put out, but they haven't started Section 31. That Section 31 show has not started yet. A writer's strike, a prolonged one, would kill that show. I don't know about
there's no Section 31.
Oh, I don't think so either. But but they can use it as an excuse.
Oh, sure. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So Section 31 is not going to happen. Alex Kurtzman's big plans are dead, and I think it might be a way they could get rid of them, possibly. I don't know. Again, I'm just speculating. 2 months. So they have to get the show in production and completely written in 2 months. So that's not happening. And hopefully it's not. The last strike lasted a long time.
Yeah.
And it killed heroes. Everybody remembers. I think live television will benefit, but I think YouTube will benefit. I think YouTube will really kick a lot of ass because of this. So it'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting. But we are coming up on you said what? When did we start? Yeah, we're right at 2.5 hours. We need to cut it out now. So I owe a bunch of super chats from Friday, and I'm going to do a square up Tuesday on this. And here, I'll try to sneak a couple in. What's your for $2.79 Canadian, what's your go-to candy bar, Doomcock? Do you have a go-to candy bar?
No, I don't eat candy bars. I've not eaten candy bars since I gave up chocolate. I used to have a Hershey bar. That was my favorite chocolate bar. And I mean, candy bar, whatever. But yeah, it used to be Hershey's.
There you go. Peanut butter cup. When I have them, I generally don't eat them that much anymore, but peanut butter cup in a freezer, frozen.
Oh, that's nice.
Cup. Yeah.
That's nice. I kind of like cupcakes and cookies these days. Those are kind of my go-to snacks. Cupcakes or cookies. Peanut butter cookies are awesome. Snickerdoodles. Donuts I like. All we have down here is Dunkin' Donuts, but which Winchell's was my favorite. Winchell's donuts. God, to get those vanilla frosted cake donuts. Shit. I was yearning for those the other day, actually. Sad.
Yeah, that sounds kind of good right now.
Good.
For $49.99 for Mexican Iron Man, as a first olive branch towards healing fandom, Mexican Iron Man proposes that Cinco de Mayo be repurposed to be White Folk Appreciation Day, where we celebrate the white folk. I shall travel to San Francisco, then Austin, to give thanks to Gary and Doomcock. Hail.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That'll go over really well, Mexican Iron Man.
Oh, that would be great. Of course, then I'd probably just want to go out and eat Mexican food. So, we'd be building bridges. Building bridges.
Jesus Christ. I'm looking. Oh, Cecil says for $2, been listening, got to bounce. Great show, fellas. Cecil.
Hail, Cecil.
Yeah, it's always nice having you here. Brian Lewandowski has already seen Better Call Saul. New season is amazing so far. Yeah, I'll be watching it right after this show, Brian. I'll be watching Brian Better Call Saul. And there was, I thought I saw it. Yes. Sharon Osborne for $99.99. Sharon! She says, thank you, gentlemen. Great teachers. Sharon,
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you. Have you been here all along, Sharon, and just started popping in? I would have recognized that name like a year ago, but we appreciate your patronage and thank you so much. Southeastern Kaiju for $2. Star Trek is moving to conquer bold new frontiers. Yeah, it is. It is. Just not the right ones. Southeastern Kaiju, unfortunately. I know you're being sarcastic there too. Mark C says, I am at Walmart as one type season 2 of Star Trek Discovery DVD, 14 episodes for $35, or for only 10 more, I could buy Star Trek, the original series, all 3 seasons, 73 episodes on DVD. I think you know what to do, Mark. I think
you'll do the right thing, brother.
We count on you to do the right thing. $35 for Star Trek Discovery? Who would pay that?
I don't know.
A DVD? For a DVD, not even Blu-ray.
Yeah, some maniac. I don't know.
Donate your money to charity.
That's sick.
Go buy your first bag of weed. I mean, do something. I don't know how much weed costs anymore.
I don't either.
I don't. Okay, we're gonna have to. I'm sorry. Oh wait, I gotta read this one. Just saw an article that says Mark Ruffalo claims Kevin Feige almost left Marvel over lack of diversity. Also, hail all. Cash Kester, thank you very much for $5. That is complete bullshit. 1000% bullshit. Kevin Feige almost left Marvel because he hated Ike Perlmutter. All right. So that is this fucking lie that's been going around. Ike Perlmutter was against Black Widow being a film and Captain Marvel. So in a sense, they're true. This is Hollywood speak. So they're extrapolating that Kevin Feige had an argument with Ike Perlmutter because he might have, I don't know. He might be all the evil things everybody says he is, or he might not be, because the only person talking about it is Kevin Feige. Ike Perlmutter doesn't talk to the press ever, but he is the president of Marvel. He was in charge of Marvel, and Kevin Feige beat him in a battle. That's what success can do for you. He got Bob Iger on his side, and a producer of a film defeated an executive, a boss. Very rare, but he did, because Kevin Feige was the golden boy. So they let it leak in the public that Ike Perlmutter was against Black Widow, Black Panther, basically calling him an istinophobe, which he could be. I don't know. But he didn't want to leave over that. He wanted to leave because he hated Ike Perlmutter. And it wasn't only because he was against Captain Marvel or Black Panther, because he was a pain in the ass to work with, apparently. But Ike Perlmutter did oversee a very good era at Marvel. And now that, you know what, I could make an argument that when the Kevin Feige era came in on the comic side, started to go to shit. The movies got better, but the comics went to shit. And now maybe we're seeing the real Kevin Feige now. Maybe he was fake before, or maybe this is all bullshit. I don't know, but I can guarantee you he didn't leave because of lack of diversity. That is the biggest bunch of horse shit I've ever fucking heard in my life. It's because he didn't like Ike Perlmutter. Stop that shit, Mark Ruffalo, you liar. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm sick of this shit.
It's like the internet doesn't exist. Like we didn't fucking know. Like I've been, Mark Ruffalo, while you're smoking your bowls in fucking San Francisco, I'm busting my ass being a fan. Freaking hippie. Yeah. Rojo Diablo, thank you for being a member at the Joloja level. Okay, we're gonna end it right there on my rant. Sorry.
There you go.
And I'll be back Tuesday. We're gonna do Friday Night Tight Square Up, Inquisition Square Up, and I will go as long as it takes. And I'm gonna mix in something very special with this Square Up. I have an interview with Mark Zickery, a real writer of Star Trek. It's a 45-minute interview. I will embed it into the live stream, and I'll be with you the whole time. And we talk about Star Trek. We talk about his show Space Command. He's trying to create some science fiction on his own. It's a very ambitious project. He's crowdfunding it, so he doesn't have any bosses, and he wants to make positive science fiction. He wants to make science fiction that's inspiring. He's actually written some very good Star Trek episodes. He wrote Real Ghostbusters. He wrote Sliders. He wrote The Twilight Zone Companion. He's on Mr. Sci-Fi. That's his YouTube channel. Go check it out. The guy is first generation nerd, straight up first generation nerd. And he knows everybody. Doug Jones, Billy Mummy. He gets Nichelle Nichols. Her final appearance, her last role is in Space Command. And he's kind of epic. He's done some great shit. So I was supposed to have the interview out earlier, but again, I've had a lot of stuff going on. So, so look for that. Doomcock, please plug your awesome channel.
It is youtube.com/overlorddvd. Please check it out and subscribe. And also the Harvey Zone, youtube.com/the Harvey Zone. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Doomcock. So I would appreciate it if you guys would check them out.
Yeah. Really happy accidents that got us to do the alternate channels to put our live streams, because YouTube doesn't like the algorithm doesn't like live streams for some reasons, but parking them over there on that alternate channel has really been great. People love it. I've gotten a lot of good feedback. So the Harvey Zone and
yes.
Modrotic Live. And again, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you to the Modrotics. Thank you for the super chats. I apologize. We have to go early Tuesday. Pay attention to Twitter in the community section for the time of the makeup live stream. In the meantime, everybody, be good to each other, and something will be good, but I just don't think it's going to be Star Trek and Doctor Who anymore. And I'm very sorry about that, but it's not our fault and it's not your fault. Remember, not all who wander are lost.